go.
Here we go.
Hello. Welcome to Ian and Kyle Mangle, the English language.
.com.
Featuring Ian and Kyle. Featuring Ian and Kyle.
And apparently not the English language.
We're off to a good start.
We are at that.
Oops, something's covering our chat, so let me fix the chat.com. Alright, we're all good.
Did we ever get fixthechat.com? Because if so, we need to redirect that to English and Kyle.
English and Kyle Mangle Ian? I don't like this plan.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's nary have you worry about it.
I shall nary worry.
We're not going to be able to top this beginning, that's for sure.
No, it's a good one. So we're starting off a little early tonight. Kyle was working from home today, and Ian has probably, but not certainly still, shipped the game he was working on for so freaking long.
Whoa.
Which is to say, I was at work today, but and was fighting fires and fixing bugs early in the morning, but we wrapped up probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in terms of what I needed to do in the crisis mode.
Yeah, that's great.
We might be done, but we've been doing that every day this week, so
Yep.
We were done Monday, and then also Tuesday, and again on Wednesday, and so forth.
Yes. But still, progress. I mean,
game development goes sometimes. But the secret is, the secret of game development is sometimes you have some really, really, really extended, difficult times, as I did for about, I'd say about 2.5 months there.
Yep.
And then other times, like this week, you have some really, really not difficult times, and then probably next week or soon thereafter, I'll be taking some time off. Hey, Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
So that's that. We're probably done. I still can't tell you the game. Stay tuned to Nintendo Direct, though. The plan has not changed for announcing it then in September. And the game might be available to play mid-September.
Indeed.
I'm mentally calculating what I can and can't say about it.
Right. That's good. That's good.
So that is a possibility.
Right. I like possibilities.
Yeah.
When is Nintendo Direct? When in September is it?
I have no idea.
All
Google
right.
it.
Google it.
Yeah. You can
Oh,
find
I love it.
Let's see what else is new. Ian got a new car?
Ian got a new
It's
car.
a nice new car. I need a new car. It sent me back quite a bit.
Now you don't need a new car, though.
Now I don't need a new car. That's true.
That's true.
I was expecting to need one in the next couple of years. It turned out to be this week.
Yep.
Not a good pairing with trying to wrap up a project, but I managed to get through it. I managed to get a heck of a deal on it, too.
Oh, that's great. I assumed as soon as I saw it that, in fact, you'd gotten that deal, because you were on the fence kind of last weekend about timing and everything, and hoping to get a good offer, and it sounds like you got a winning situation.
Yep. It is the same model as my last car. It is a Ford Focus.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 2017 model.
Ooh.
And with the deal, I paid $1,000 less than I paid for my first one.
Wow. 2017 one too.
Which is crazy because the Focus model has sort of become a mid-range model. It's actually gone up in price quite a bit.
Interesting.
Anyway.
But what a great deal. What a great situation to be in.
Worked out super well. I have no complaints.
I wonder if this is just the time of the year, because
it is. Everybody's getting rid of their 2017 inventory. That's it was not intentional on my part, but it was certainly a happy coincidence that I needed a car at this time, and I didn't have to fight for it. Like I reached out to the dealer just it was the first inkling of I might need to get a car. I should start talking to somebody. I was like, hey, I might need to get a car. I should start talking to somebody, and they're like, here's a car for a lot of money off, and I'm like, okay.
Good sale. And the catch is, and then there wasn't.
And I didn't say yes right away because I wasn't prepared to say yes right away. And but a week and a half later, it was still on the table. And I actually, one of the big things for me, Chris knows this. What's your name? Kyle.
I'm Kyle. Or
this.
English language, depending on how you feel like phrasing it.
My former car was yellow, and I'm not really a car guy.
Yeah.
What I notice about car is what I noticed about a car is its color. Yeah. I don't notice model or horsepower or I'm not that kind of person. Right. But I go, ooh, that's a vibrant, interesting looking car. So yellow is a good color for me. They don't make focuses in yellow anymore.
Sad.
The deal they tried to offer me, well, I'm telling you, I didn't intend to tell this story in the
it's
stream,
good.
but I kind of went off on a
It's
tangent.
okay.
here.
It's all
The
right.
deal they offered me was initially for what they call magnetic colored focus, which is sort of a gunmetal gray. And I didn't love it because it's not vibrant. And I was
Right.
like, it's okay. It's a really good deal. It's hard to pass up. So we talked about that for a while. And when I actually went in on Tuesday, they had sold the gunmetal one the night before.
Oh.
And the one they tried to sell me was silver. And I'm like, oh, that's probably the worst. That's
Yeah.
probably the worst possible color for me. Like, any other color you make this car in,
Right.
I'm going to like better than this color. And I said that to them in not exactly those terms.
More or less.
You know, like, I played along. We did the test drive. I did the thing. No, you know, to kick the tires and whatnot. And then he's like, what do you think? And I was like, well, I don't like the color. Is there anything we can do about that? Do you have any other colors? And the guy made a call, and he got me a nice, shiny, new, bright red Ford Focus. So I'm very happy with that. It would probably be my second or third choice in terms of color, but with this deal, that makes it great.
Totally desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is definitely a color you can live with. And for those watching at home, there was a pretty amusing moment where Ian baited me cleverly as we were walking and looking for his
got it
car.
good.
And Ian just kind of like, is looking around, and I said something to the effect of, I don't know where we're going. And then he started looking around, and I said, do you know where you're going? And he pushed the button, and the car right next to us lit up. That was, of course, looked completely different. And while I think red is, the vibrant red is a little more common than the yellow, it's a pretty standout looking car. So, based upon staring at it, your goal accomplished,
Yes.
and that's a big deal. Yeah.
How married to the color? Who trained you on that? Oh, were you a car salesperson, Casey?
Yeah, red is the most commonly pulled over color. That's true.
That's true, but I don't care. I've been pulled over once in my life, and it's because I had a headlight out.
Yeah.
And I was also cross-dressing for a Halloween party at the time.
Yeah.
Kyle was there.
I was there. I remember that. That was pretty great. Was that the Taukaka?
Yeah. Which I didn't realize that, you don't think about it.
No,
I didn't realize I was wearing the weird-ass costume until the guy's like, can I see your license? And I'm like, sure. And I reached for my pocket, and I'm like, I don't have pockets. Oh my god. I'm wearing this, like, elaborate female costume.
Well, and if I recall correctly, you did shave your legs for that costume.
No, that is absolutely wrong.
that
I
not-
used a chemical hair remover.
Oh, okay, touche.
and
touche.
And bottles and bottles and bottles of tanner.
I appreciate the correction, but we've got to stay manly about this. No, that was, first of all, that was a great costume.
Thank you.
I must commend that costume. I can't believe you pulled that one off. That was a real winner. Well, the thing that was so great about those, the officer didn't crack even a little, not even a
he
little.
He was dead serious the whole time.
And it wasn't like the officer wasn't rude or anything. It's just like the officer did his job, was on his way. And I seem to recall after the officer walked off, only then did we all kind of crack up about it. Like, we looked ridiculous. Was that the year I was Punisher? Because I did Punisher, I did Invisible Man / Dark Man.
I can't recall. I honestly can't recall.
I really liked my Invisible Man / Dark Man costume because it started out the night as Invisible Man and I was all bandaged up and the bandages started falling apart and it was totally thrown together at the last minute. So by the evening I was telling people I had dressed up as Dark Man. That was pretty great. That was 2 great costumes in one.
Yeah, there you go.
Transforming costume. Those are good times.
Yep. Yeah, Chris was there. That's right.
Invisible Man.
That's right.
Yeah. I recalled that did recall that Chris was there.
God, was Kevin there too? Was it the quadfecta? Is that a word?
Quadfecta. I'm gonna accept that because I can't think of a better way to phrase that.
Yeah, no, I bet I smelled like pot when we were pulled over.
Yeah,
we were
that
not
was-
smoking pot, but
yeah,
it was, what was his name? I guess I shouldn't
Chan-
dox
Yep,
people.
Yep, no
or
doxing.
whatever.
There were people.
Some guy who's Asian and maybe the guy whose name I just said.
Parts of the stream might be worth editing out, but there were people that started using drugs and we left.
Well, that's not why. I mean, I think everything was wrapping up.
I think so. I mean, that was the only reason they started pulling that stuff out anyway. They're like, we're getting bored, so we're going to get some drugs. It was very funny to me, actually, because there was this little bit of, like, it just felt so stereotypical, and, like, high school. It was, like, stereotypical high school movie, where it's like, things are winding down, let's rev them up with drugs. It's just, I don't know, stupid.
Yeah.
Whatevs. But then we got pulled over.
Yeah, but because I had a headlight out, and the funny thing is, I said to the officer, look, I have an appointment tomorrow to get it fixed, which of course is what everybody says, but I literally had an appointment tomorrow to get it fixed at the time, so it's all kinds of an interesting scenario.
Yeah, that was
a wonderful story from our shared history.
Yeah, that was good times. Yeah, I mean, all those things, the possibly smelling like drugs from being near people who had started using drugs, the ridiculous costumes, and the headlight, and the fact that was the one time you were pulled over.
Yep.
Good, great combination. If you're going to be pulled over once, it might as be while fucked it up.
While Chrome?
While cross-dressing as an anime character in a car full of costumed individuals smelling like drugs.
Yeah, totally.
No better way to get pulled over.
Yep. So that concludes the story portion of Ian and Kyle Mangle, the English language. We should talk about, let's see, I'll talk about Diablo a little bit. I'm still playing Diablo. Casey, you joined late, so quick and dirty, I'll just say my project is probably wrapped up this week. If it's not wrapped up, it's at a point where I'm only working a couple hours a day on it, so I've got a lot of downtime. So that's good.
That's good.
I'll be relaxing in the next couple of days and getting back to my old self. I've been very tired because I've been working really hard for a couple of months. But I've still been playing a lot of Diablo, and as I said last week, I've been playing Diablo mostly because it's difficult to switch gears game-wise when you're working a lot, as I was. I'm pretty bored with it now. But I got really far with the Necromancer. The bottom of the leaderboards, I'd say the bottom 10 to 20% of the leaderboards are GR 75, and I'm at GR 69.
Man, that's close.
And unfortunately, I feel the same way. Like Kyle just said, I feel like, boy, I'm in spitting distance. Of course, these are exponential levels, so I'm not really. But I'm having trouble shaking the feeling.
It feels like you're right.
I'm
there.
not super close to getting on the leaderboard, so I'm struggling with continuing to put in at least a little bit of effort to see if I can keep pushing that number up.
Yeah.
But it's slow going, and I'm really not enjoying it anymore. So I wanted to put this call out on the stream, and it doesn't necessarily have to be to you two or to Kyle or whoever, but if you want to play some really high-level Diablo with me, it would be a good time to do it. I would relish the opportunity to distract myself from the grind, the tedium at the moment, as I try to push towards this probably unreachable goal that my stupid brain thinks is reachable.
Yeah, that's solid. Good old brain. Good old brain.
I don't know what's a diamond tier HOTS player. I know what a HOTS player is. I don't know what a diamond tier is.
Diamond tier is a high tier of player.
Thanks, Kyle. I probably could have worked that out.
Well,
from
I'm
context.
helping you out. I forget if is there a platinum before or after diamond? I don't remember. There's like bronze, silver, gold. Platinum.
Well, to be fair, Chris, it's not because I want to play multiplayer.
It's because you want to play.
It's because I don't want to play single player, but I want to keep playing.
So it is a peculiar circumstance. Now, Casey, can you have that rating only pubbing, or have you been playing non-pub matches or doing ranked? That is the question that I would ask. Because I remember there are ways to tell your rating in the game not through the game, using like tools or websites that are magical. Don't do ranked, man. But still, highest level MMR. Well, congratulations on that. That is cool. Best of the best. Top 5% or something, or 1%.
Awesome.
That's good.
The Diablo leaderboards are the best 1,000 players in the world in the category. So the fact that I'm even anywhere near that. Here's the kicker.
At least by counting.
As the Necromancer, the season the Necromancer came out,
Yeah, that is
That's why
impressive.
it's
Yeah,
impressive.
That's pretty. Yeah, hot slog. Yeah.
Anywho, did you want to touch on what are you playing that one game?
Yeah,
PlayStation.
No, I actually haven't played much Horizon.
Robo Dinosaurs.
Yeah, Robo Dinosaurs, the game. All I can say about that is it continues to, generally amaze me. But I've actually spent. I uncovered a chunk of map and have been sort of spending a non-trivial amount of time playing, and by non-trivial I mean like the last 15 hours in the game, sort of exploring this one zone of the map that's probably the biggest single zone, but doing a lot of quest cleanup and things like it. Still being really engaged in the experience, but I'm also going to be... One of the things that's sort of interesting about the game is... I guess I won't talk about those too extensively because they're...
I do need something to... I don't mean to interject.
Yeah, no.
I'll make sure we get back to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I need something that, like, I'm gonna have a copious amounts of free time in the near future. The next big release I'm looking forward to is Etrian Odyssey, which is in October.
Oh my.
So I have a lot of time
You
between
might
now
do
and then.
Horizon.
I don't know, simply because I don't feel right now like I have the energy for that.
It's pretty time-consuming.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm looking for something, is what I was
Yeah.
getting at. Now, please continue.
Yeah, so all I was going to say is the escalation in the game, the power escalation of your character is very interesting. And they... Again, without diving into this too much, to talk about it sort of in the broadest of terms, they predominantly increase the width of tools at your disposal, not the vertical power of the tools at your disposal. So there's like lateral growth. And that's a very interesting choice.
I like that.
And I like it too. And I didn't even realize it until I was like halfway through the game, and I would look at some of the new tools at my disposal and be like, that isn't any more damage or any more whatever. Wait a minute, but I can do this now. I bet that's going to be useful in circumstances I don't yet understand. And then I start to understand them, and I'm like, oh. But you aren't required to use that width fully. There's like pros and cons to it in the sense that if you start using these wider tools and finding and solving the puzzles that the game provides, you can find easier ways to solve things, but you can still brute force with some of the most basic tools for the most part. So there's some vertical escalation, but not a ton, and it's very interesting, and that also reveals itself through the tech tree in the game, which again I won't talk about in any detail except to say I remember looking down at it initially and being like, I'm not sure that all of these things will feel valuable, and there's a small handful that still do not seem valuable to me, but I've got a good chunk of the skill tree teched out at this point, and I feel like a lot of the things that are there have been added to my repertoire and feel pretty good. So it's a very fascinating difficulty curve, and a lot of the encounters are, I think, very, for lack of a better term, tend to be pretty puzzle-oriented, which I like, but it makes combat interesting because, of course, the magnitude of encounters and magnitude of enemies increases as the game goes on, as one would expect. So what happens is you start solving those puzzles most quickly, and again, I'll keep this very vague, but there's like one enemy encountered. There's like, I have no idea. Like, it's this craziness. It just does this thing, and then it does this other thing, and then I'm dead, and that's kind of obnoxious. And I get a little bit of that Dark Souls vibe of like, man, I eat those suckers for breakfast now.
Right.
And it's crazy. Like, these things are no joke. And there are multiple enemies like that where you encounter them and you're just like, I can't even. And the draw distance is, of course, huge. So there's a couple of great moments where you like get up on a mountaintop and you're looking over a vast landscape, and a mile away you see something and you're like, that looks a little bit like something I've seen somewhere else, but why can I see it from this far away? And then like you're getting closer and you're like, things getting bigger and bigger, and then like you go around a mountain and over a hill and you're like, I can still see it, and I'm getting closer, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and then you finally get up to it and you're like, what the hell? And it's not quite Dark Souls scope, but it's not trivial, and the scope of the creatures in the game, especially as they get bigger, is more profound in some ways because of the way they fit into the scope of the world. So in Dark Souls, there's a lot of relative scope where it's like, I'm this size and a creature is, massive, compared to me, but the environments are all compartmentalized, so you can kind of get away with that. So to have things that are this gigantic and this tremendous in a open world is very impressive. And so I continue to enjoy the game. That's just a little more amusing on some of the systems and the progression, but don't know when the next time is I'll get a good chunk in it, but I'm hoping I'm going back to regular work hours. I've had a mini crunch for the last week, and I think next week will be mostly an on-time week, so I should get some more hours in the evenings, which I know my fiance will also appreciate because she enjoys watching me play that one. It's a beautiful game.
Dark Souls comparisons, high praise.
I
was reminded, and I'm sorry to jump back a topic. Usually I don't like to do that. I was reminded of something I wanted to say, at least to Chris, about Diablo.
Yeah.
Is that I observed finally? It's been staring me in the face. You know, I've been playing Diablo for years.
It's true.
And I've been playing at a very high level for probably a year, meaning I'm at least familiar with all the ins and outs of the systems if I don't necessarily take advantage of them, because I find some of the things that you do to be kind of boring.
Right.
But we used to marvel and chuckle at the scope of the range of numbers in Disgaea. That was one of its draws. It's like you start a character, your character does a couple of damage to tens of damage, and you can get to a point where you're doing,
gazillion,
10 billion damage or so.
Right.
The range of numbers in Diablo is the same.
What?
I didn't realize that, but my high level, my GR69 Necromancer, I'm routinely doing tens of billions of damage and started doing, ones and fives and tens and stuff.
Wow.
So it's the same. I think it's over a longer period of time, and maybe that's why it's more subtle, but that scale is there.
That's actually pretty impressive.
And it also doesn't hang a lampshade on it, which I think is part of what Disgaea does.
Right. It's just like, you're just kind of here now, rather than it being a signature.
So we'll talk a little bit about Ashes. But I want a caveat that we're going to kind of put a kibosh on discussing it too in depth, because Kyle and I have actually reached the point where we're doing deck construction, and we both have some modified decks, and there are some very, very interesting observations I want to make and discuss about deck construction in the game. However, we have not seen each other's new decks yet. So that is an in-depth conversation we will probably have next week or soon thereafter. Hello, Kat. Kat's going to be on the stream.
Let's see if
quite possibly
Lily wants to come to the stream.
But we did play. We actually played 2 games last week. Hey, there's the cat. Hello, Kat.
It's Lily. Lily's joining us on the stream this evening.
I'm getting distracted by a cat.
It's okay. Cats will do that.
Oh, I needed to pet a cat. I haven't had a chance to pet a cat in a long time.
Lily guest appeared on the stream here.
What was I saying? Oh, we played 2 games. We played 2 games last week. They were 30-minute games. We don't think that that's an improvement in our playtime. We both rage quit kind of early in those games. I rage quit 1, and Kyle rage quit 1. So that was a new experience for us. So
that's very true.
We hit a table flip moment, and that's still looming there for me in general. Like, I think I would say I like the game, but it has an element that I vastly dislike, and in the game that I rage quit, it irked me.
That,
So if that's something that happens a lot, I might have to reconsider that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, now from the perspective of someone who has lost all of the games but one,
but the one I rage quit.
But the one you rage quit, I can say
it's really what I don't like about the game is sometimes Kyle wins. That irritates me to no end.
Clearly, that is peeving. No, I have been on the edge of rage quitting on several of my losses and brute forced it through and lost anyway. But the games have, in 2 of the 5 instances I've lost, one being my rage quit. 2 of them ended up being much closer than I expected. So there are still elements for which my future telling skills are mediocre.
I think we observed we had 2 games that literally came down to a turn.
Yeah.
Which is, and of course I won them, but the circumstance was Had I not won the turn that I won, Kyle would have won the following turn.
Which that's
And I don't mean like a turn being a main action and a sub action. Like literally that was about to end either way.
Yeah, which is interesting. I'm going to be very curious to see how our constructed decks work. I think we'll have a lot more to talk about for Ashes once we have tried those things in motion. It's funny, there was something else I had wanted to mention in Horizon to go back to, and I can't recall it now. So, because when you said that, it's like, yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I guess I'm sure whatever it is.
You said you were yammering on there. You said you were gonna be brief.
Well, it's a big game.
It's a big game.
It's a big game. There's almost an infinite number of things to
play
it.
this game.
Very good.
What do you think about your thing?
I'm
gonna play that deck.
I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see.
All right, then we'll play some versus system. If it comes up, you can say it.
The deck that has been selected is a double
I do
A.
not disable the audio while we're playing.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Sometimes we disable our audio, but
unintentionally.
Unintentionally, the thoughtful moments. Definitely the thoughtful moments. I guess I'll make one generic comment and act as though it was what I was going to say, even though it wasn't, which is I was really impressed with some of the late game enemy design that I have encountered, or maybe even not late game. I don't even know if I'm in the late game. There's still a bunch of map I haven't explored. So what I was getting at with the flattened difficulty was just there's like a whole bunch of places I could go.
We have. I'm sorry.
No worries.
We have completed a full cycle of my double A's.
Excellent. Excellent. Didn't we actually play the Outsiders at that time, or did we not? Yeah.
We did not the first time. We did the second. We did last time.
Oh, I see. But yeah, it creates this interesting sense of like, well, I feel like I know enough about what I'm doing that I could go to that area that might be the harder area, but maybe it's not the harder area. I'm trying to do everything, you know. Terrible game to try and do everything in. I actually do have one last good thing to talk about, which is I had one disappointment in the game. First time a true disappointment. There was a sequence that took about 45 minutes to complete that seemed like a massive build-up to something and ended up being kind of a weird dead end. And when I say it seemed like a massive build-up to something, I mean there were unique lines of dialogue, a cutscene, and then nothing but a dead end. So I was really, really annoyed.
Kyle didn't find the secret at the dead end.
Apparently I didn't find the secret at the dead end. But, like, words cannot do justice to how peeved I was. Because, like, I thought I had really found something amazing.
Did you throw your controller?
No. But I couldn't even do that. Because it wasn't like a sudden fail. It was like I have to be missing something. And I spent 45 minutes wandering around like I have to be missing something. And if I'm missing something, I'm still missing it. And that's really annoying. I didn't even get closure.
Just go get the other two
I have
umbilical
to
cords.
I gotta get the other. It's kind of like that. I know where they go. They go in that dead end.
They're in a different. No wonder I couldn't figure it out. You have to bring them to a different game.
It's been that all along.
All right, I'm gonna choose the internet here.
Alrighty.
I have lost this roll.
In that case, I will cut your deck. All right, did some deck cutting. What do we go here?
And
I will go.
Kyle missed
evens.
something in
I'll go evens.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
I missed something in Bloodborne. But Kyle missed it worse. And I usually tease him for
That's true. It's true.
Oh no, I should keep this. But it's not good.
I will not keep. Actually, I'm going to read this card, and then I'm going to not keep this hand.
It's not good, Kyle.
I'm not keeping my hand.
I'm not keeping it.
Good call.
This might be a bad call.
Bad call. Well, I'll tell you what. This draw sure happened. Oh my word. I feel you.
Would it have been better or worse if I kept?
Sometimes you gotta ask.
I don't know.
I did go evens.
Okay, well, I will not be playing a 1-drop.
Me neither.
Okay.
Me neither.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's kind of what I'm feeling like right now. This draw is a baffling draw. This is a baffling draw. I do not have a 2-drop that I want to play at this precise moment.
All right. I'll be plating. I'll be plating Lady Blackhawk. Plate her skirt.
Go on.
When Lady Blackhawk enters play, search your deck for a Birds of Prey character card, reveal it, and put it on top of your deck.
I like Birds of Prey. I always enjoy them.
And then Lady Blackhawk will be attacking you for 2.
It's gonna work.
I'm going to make her unsealed.
Yeah.
And then she'll attack you for 2.
It was worthy observation. Worthy observation indeed. Yeah, that sounds like a turn. I wonder what you're going to get on your turn.
What?
My draw is absurd. It's an absurd draw. Boy, that is absurd. It is your initiative.
My draw's kind of weird too.
Absurd.
Yeah, I gotta do it this way. That's so weird. Oh, let me read this. Yeah, I gotta do it this way. How strange. Alright, I'll be recruiting Ms. Barbara Gordon. Oracle. Oracle's power is free draw a card, use only once per turn. May I free draw a card? I think I may.
Indeed. I don't remember the word I was saying repeatedly.
Yeah, it's true.
Bizarre,
we have
weird.
enough of a delay. I don't remember it either.
Yeah,
But I appreciate that we
crazy.
tried to do that over the stream.
Yeah, it's atypical. I haven't seen one like this in a while.
Are you
I'm
not gonna
sure
play
what's
a
going
3-drop?
on. Where am I? Now I do have a 3-drop.
There you go.
It is Carlos Hoffen, Moonstone.
Carlos off a Moonstone.
She is a 5/4.
Carlos is often a Moonstone.
It's very true. She's a 5/4 with flight and range with substitute. Her power is, when she becomes stunned, if I control 5 or more resources, recover her at the start of the recovery phase this turn.
I'm going to play the hookup.
The hookup.
To play, choose 2 different team affiliations among characters you control. Ongoing, cross over those affiliations, discard a Gotham Knights power. Ongoing, cross over those affiliations, discard a Gotham Knights character card, draw a card. Use this power only once a turn. I'm going to discard Lower Lance to draw a card. That was weird. Okay.
You had to use one word. All I can tell you is I haven't seen a draw like this in a while.
I'm going to play a Correct Shot.
Crack shot.
Target character gets +3 attack while
Right.
attacking this turn and has range. I will choose Barbara Gordon Oracle. Barbara Gordon Oracle with +3 attack and range will attack Kyla Sovin, sometimes a Moonstone.
It'll work. I will take 2 breakthrough and counterstone.
You take 3.
And do I take an additional 2?
You do.
Yeah. Not a bad life lead. It saves you a lot of damage. Or swinging through. Alrighty. Alrighty.
I would like to free draw a card.
Why don't you do that? Ian?
Okay.
Why don't you do that? Boy, that is underwhelming. Sure don't have a better choice. I'm gonna recruit Genisvel Photon. Genisvel Photon has, and I quote, when he enters play, target opponent loses 1 endurance for each face-down resource he controls, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 1 at the moment.
That is true.
He also has flight range and is a 7/7.
I'll take 1.
Yeah. 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 If anyone's wondering why it is 1 and Ian has 2 resources, as a reminder, it is because the resources technically happen after the other player's
I like
done.
go down instead of up.
Yeah,
which
that's a
is
good
what
call.
I did.
That's a good call. That's true.
Okay. All right. I see what we're doing here. I see how you want to play this.
That's how I'm doing.
I'm going to discard Spoiler to draw a card. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to substitute Barbara Gordon for Barbara Gordon.
I'd have a 4-drop.
And then I'm going to free draw a card.
Yep. Oh man, that's so good. So much cycle. It's so much.
And then I'm going to recruit Catwoman and Irie 1. Catwoman's power is whenever Catwoman causes breakthrough to an opponent.
Causes
breakthrough. Draw a card, and that opponent discards a card from his hand. Irie 1 says, characters I control have flight. Free. Move target birds of prey character you control with concealed to your hidden or visible area. Use only once per turn.
Right on. Are you formed?
I am formed.
Well, I'm going to attack Catwoman with Janus Vel Photon for 7.
Yeah.
That's my whole plan.
Love that.
Yep.
Well, in response,
Yes.
I'm going to be stunned,
Yes.
and I will take 4.
Excellent. Excellent. All part of my master plan to deal you exactly 4 damage.
I didn't have a good enough 4 drop. Not without initiative.
That is fair.
So what I'm going to try
Yes.
is I'm going to attack the Moonstone
The Moonstone.
with Lady Blackhawk.
Oh, word. The
Um,
boldness.
and I'm going to play a Birds of a Feather. Target Birds of Prey attacker or defender you control gets +2 attack this attack, plus an additional +1 attack for each other Birds of a Feather in your resource row and KO'd pile.
So that's... I'm sorry, that was plus what?
It's just +2. It was the next one will be more. This one is +2.
Sure. No, that is going to work. I wish I had a good trick, but I don't. Yeah, not letting me swing through. I will take 4. Sorry, your attack was exactly 4.
It was
I will
exactly
take
4.
3. I will pass.
Absurd, Chris, as you were saying. Your draw is
Ah.
absurd.
That remains true. Boy, that remains true.
My draw's pretty freaking weird too. I'm gonna free draw a card if that's all right.
No, that's okay.
No, let's do that.
I'll buy onto that bandwagon.
All right. Then I'm going to discard Gypsy to draw a card.
Let's see.
This aggressive cycle has had some shocking results. I can't even imagine. Kyle, please look away from the camera. Chris, if you're not otherwise occupied, I'm going to show you the color of the cards in my hand. Let's see if you can catch this here. Does that come through okay? That is 10? 10 cards? Yeah, how about that?
I'd be real impressed if the color was green. Yeah.
I have initiative at least.
That's
All
true.
right, that's something.
Big deal.
So, I think I'm at a crossroads. Between where and where, you might ask? Well,
I would ask that.
Yeah.
Between where and where, Ian?
I think it's Savant. I'm going to be recruiting Savant.
Mm-hmm.
Savant says, Savant gets -3/+3 while visible.
Right. Yeah, it's a big character.
So he has a big defense and a lower attack.
Yeah. Do you have the Green Goblin? Green Goblin is a leader, and at the start of my recruit step, so that'll be next turn, put a 1/1 counter on each adjacent character. He has also a 10/9 with flight and range.
going to attack Moonstone with Cat.
Yeah. That is a possibility. And if that is successful, I must discard a card, and you get to draw a card.
True.
Yeah. I think it's going to be successful. Though I do now have 5 resources, so she's a free recovery.
Very well.
So I take damage 2. I take 5 damage.
And discard and I draw.
I will discard this card. Right. So, Goblin is going to attack Savant. I'm going to play a grudge match. Target attacker has the same cost as a defender. That attacker gets +3/+3 this attack. You're both cost 5.
Nerds.
Phrasing. Fair phrasing.
That is the right number. That is unfortunate.
Does make me a 13/12.
Welp. Okay. I will take 2 breakthrough and 5.
Nerds. You don't hear nerds every day.
I will pass.
I'm going to attack Catwoman with Genesville Photon.
Alright. Power up.
I do have an additional grudge match.
Oof. Wow. Ow. Ow, Kyle.
Wow.
Yeah, that hurts.
I have a 10/10.
I will take 6. This is not going my way,
So-
man.
so-
That was quite a change in momentum just then.
I had to discard a card and let you draw a card for it,
What was
but I think it was well worth.
I think I'm at 8. I'm at 28. We will review the video. I think there's a possibility I screwed up the math there. I got confused in the middle.
I can't rule it out. I wasn't paying attention.
I think I was at 34 and went to 28 for taking 6 damage from that.
Legit.
Goodbye, Catwoman. You barely served me.
She got your card. Maybe discard one with something. What? As they say.
I'm going to activate free draw a card.
Okay.
And then I'm going to discard Catwoman to draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Stop laughing. What are you laughing at?
It's nothing. My draw is special. It's special in ways that you can't possibly foresee and could benefit me, but circumstantially could not benefit me at all. It's stupid. My draw is stupid.
This was your initiative.
Yeah, it's true. Good call. I have Abomination. Abomination does not have a team affiliation. He also has, whenever one or more opposing characters enter combat with Abomination, remove all counters from them and put a 1/1 counter on Abomination. Also, at the start of my recruit step, characters adjacent to Green Goblin get counters. I do need to think about my formation for a moment. And I think it's like that I
Well, I'm going to recruit Mr. Dick Grayson.
Mr. Dick Grayson.
Mr. Dick Grayson has 2 powers. The first is whenever he stuns a character, I draw a card. The second is I may discard a Gotham Knights character card from my hand, and target defender has reinforcement this attack.
That is useful. The correct course of action is, I believe, to team attack Dick Grayson with my smaller characters. Total attack is 8 plus 6.
Mm-hmm. Just remind myself what's going on.
Good,
over
good
here.
call. You should know. You should know what's going on. I encourage it even. Oh, stupid.
It's going to work.
Boom,
I
do
will
you
stun the 4-drop,
Of course.
and I will draw a card.
I'll take 4. I should also adjust my tens column while I'm at it. Like, that's weird. I suddenly feel like I have a lot more life than I thought I would have.
This is not going to be a fun exchange for me.
There's a possibility.
I'm going to move Savant Concealed. I'm going to attack the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. You are those are your stats now, right?
They are my stats now, yes. Target defender gets -3 attack this attack and an additional -1 for each tied down in your resource row.
Minus what and
3.
so it's -4 for the second one.
For the next one will be -4.
But that one, wait,
This
that
one's
one.
just -3.
I see. So -3 puts me 1 behind your stats. Well, I mean, reduces my attack, right?
Yes.
So my attack is 7 and your defense is 8.
Yes.
Do you have a power up?
I do have another tied down.
Yeah, not gonna be the second one. At least I made the use of it, yes. So your attack is a lot.
It's 11.
My attack is not much. I will take 7.
Now.
Well,
really going to
you've
hurt.
cleverly avoided him getting a counter, however, because he only gets counters when he goes in combat with a character. So that works. So
That
I'm
was
attacking
my
for
plan,
12.
yes.
I outwitted you handily.
Take
12, right?
12 is the
Yeah.
damage.
Well,
Yeah.
brown.
That was my initiative, however.
Yep.
I'm going to draw this card. I'm going to draw this card.
I will now activate free draw a card.
Right.
And then I'm going to discard Gypsy to draw a card. Then I'm going to recruit Batman. Batman has loyalty, and he has 2 powers. The first power he gets +X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. The number of cards in my hand is 10.
Not too shabby.
That's a lie. It's 9.
That's shabby.
I'll mark that. We'll do it with play counters, and we'll do it Chris style so he can follow along. The second power is I may exhaust a Gotham Knight's character I control to draw a card. I'll do that now.
It's a big damn Batman.
It is a big damn Batman. Oh, I have to do this. Alright. No, I can't do it. Alright, it's fine. Fine.
I can take some guesses about what that was. I'll make no comments.
Chris said it's a big damn Batman. You said that synchronously.
Impressive.
Clever.
I'm going to recruit Venom. That's Venom. I can activate him to KO a stunned character and gain endurance equal to that character's cost. Also, I get to counter here and a counter here. Venom does not have flight or range, but he does have 17 attack.
Mm-hmm.
Savant is going to attack Venom.
I don't like that.
And I'm going to play Break You.
Break You.
As an additional cost to play Break You, discard up to 3 cards from your hand.
Oh my.
Target attacker or defender gets +2 attack this attack for each card you discarded this way.
+2 attack, and you're attacking Venom. Yes, Batman's smaller. That's cool. So you got +6.
6.
So your attack is 17.
Yes.
Right. Right on. Right on. With you. Must contemplate. It's important that I do not lose this turn.
Probably a good plan.
If I do nothing, I have to play defensively. Exciting, sad. 13, 12. I think I reinforce. Is that true? I could do that. Then you would do that.
Probably would.
Bugger.
Nerds.
Nerds. I believe I take it. I will take 10. That sucks from my face.
I will take 5.
It's true.
Sucks for my face.
It's true.
How did Barbara get ready? She's not ready.
She is not ready.
That's weird. I have no idea how that happened. I might have moved her to make room for
Yeah, that's probably it. That's annoying. Abomination must attack Dick Grayson when I engage in combat with somebody who can
Abomination attacks Dick Grayson. Okay, let's see. I want to do a couple of different things.
I don't like that.
The first of it is I'm going to activate him to draw a card. The second thing is, this is interesting, I don't think I've ever done this before.
That's terrifying.
I'm going to use Irie 1 to move him to my hidden or concealed area.
Why are you doing that? Don't do that. What?
Then, I'm going to play Good Cop, Good Cop. Target Gotham Knight's defender in your support row gets +2 attack this attack and has reinforcement this attack.
Wow, that's really useful in this context. Right. So right now I'm getting counter stunned.
Correct.
Oof, I don't like that really at all. I'm going to play from my hand I Am Doomed, put a 1/1 counter on the character I control.
Well, alas, I have to play Cry for Blood. Target character you control gets +3 attack while defending this turn. If it's a bird of prey character with concealed, you may move it to your hidden or visible area. I won't move it again.
Work. Ouch. I will take the beats.
I will take 6 and draw a card.
I will take 6, and I am at 6. Sure hope you can't strip reinforcement.
I think I have to attack Moonstone.
Keep in mind, Moonstone is a free recovery for me.
I have to be right.
That's also true. Yeah, that's true. You want some of your counters. That is fair. That is fair. And if you leave me even an opening, there's severe risk that comes with that. Yeah. If you're not getting me either way, you might as well take the safe bet. Touche. I will reinforce, of course, and take 3. You're putting me at 3. I must pass. Boy, I've got a tough choice here. Let me think about this. So Carla's a freebie. Abomination is actually getting pretty substantial. It's probably still Venom. Abomination's gigantic, though. And I have initiative. Oh, he's so gigantic. But Venom maybe gives me life gain. Boy, Venom sure does give me life gain. I think I keep Abomination. That's funny. Didn't foresee that. Alright, I'm drawing my cards. This is one of the cards as me drawn. This is the other my cards.
That was...
I drew my cards.
This deck, so I spent plot twists
So,
here.
know what I'm gonna do.
I know what I'm going to do.
That's cool.
I'm going to free draw a card.
So gone. I'm gonna have initiative. Boy, that's something. There are elements of both options, which are good. Alright. I have to keep those cards. That's the better choice. I don't know what you're gonna get. I don't like that none neither.
Well, you know I probably have some options. I'm going to go get some water if you're still contemplating.
That's
I've been
alright.
looking for an opportunity to do that for a while.
Oh, I actually feel like I'm in a bad shape here because you have options I am not going to have. That is unfortunate. Well, I'm gonna just put my counters on my characters, get that out of the way. probably that. This one. So I have Melissa Gold Songbird. She's not terrible. She's a 6-drop, which is solid. Do I want to put down a resource? Maybe I don't. Yeah, I guess I'm going to not put down a resource. Interesting. Melissa Gold has whenever an adjacent character becomes stunned, she gets a 1/1 counter. And yeah, I guess that's how I form. Boy, I don't love it. Sure hope you have a bunch of garbage over there. That's what I need right about now.
I think I'm gonna do the fun thing. It might not work. I will play a resource. I will discard Gypsy. I think I haven't done this yet this turn. Maybe I did. Yeah, I must have. I will reveal that I have another The Hookup. That's the resource I played, so that I may discard Gypsy to draw a card. That's silly. Don't do that. The next thing I will do is substitute Barbara Gordon for Barbara Gordon. Everyone is KO'd. Barbara Gordon is removed from the game.
Yeah.
I will do that to activate free, draw a card. And I think I must at last activate a Barbara Gordon to play the Bat Signal.
Oh my.
To play Exhausted Gotham Knights character control, search your deck for a Gotham Knights character card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. I don't remember if I put this guy in this deck. I think I did, though. I will be sad if I didn't. It does not appear to be here. I do not have 8-cost soups.
I vaguely remembered
That's what
that
I was
was in
going
there.
for.
Yeah. Well, still, if you wish to undo your search, I would.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No,
I
I
would
don't.
prefer the card in my hand.
Totally,
at that
that's
point.
important now. Totally don't
Um,
mind. That would be a silly thing to have a disadvantage because of, so I totally accept.
In fact, knowing that my deck's construction, I will not have played a resource,
Sure.
and I will not have discarded
Sure, keep Batman big. Not done the
Gypsy.
substitute.
I will do the substitute,
I see.
but I will not have discarded Gypsy to draw a card,
Okay.
because that was the power for the
I
resource.
see, yes. So just double check the number of cards in your hand. Is it 7?
It's 10.
That's a lot more than the dice on Batman.
I will fix the dice on Batman
I see.
when I
Once you
recruit something.
Yes.
I haven't done that yet.
That's true. That's true.
The something I recruit is, of course, Barbara Gordon.
Sure.
Oracle.
Big.
When Barbara Gordon enters play, draw 3 cards.
No joke. No joke.
I will put an Irie one on Barbara Gordon.
That's, I figured you had another one anyway. But
So, the number of cards on Batman should be 11.
yeesh. Not super keen on that. Not super keen on that. That's a mania counter. Boy, that's a mania counter. Don't know if I can get you. You got a lot of advantage here on me with 10 million cost Batman. Flight on everyone's real bad for me. How do I make this work? So Batman is a 1919. Well, that's not trivial.
He's an 1818 is my count.
True. Well, in that case,
Then you got this. No sweat.
no sweat. Jeez. I sure wish you didn't have flight on everyone. That's a real issue here. So how do I make this work for me? Don't have a ton of spectacular options. Boy, oh boy, you're going to have a lot of firepower. That's the problem I've got. You have all the cards you could possibly hope and dream of. That is not a thing that I currently have. 18, sweet mother of pearl.
Well, I don't know if you recall when I said I have to make a choice, and I'm at a crossroads, and then I chose, who was it? Savant?
I do remember that.
I chose Batman at that moment. I chose this Batman at that moment.
Gotcha.
And I have been playing for the card draw since.
It's a smart course, or at least so it would seem. So the question is, alright, so I think the reality is I have to hit Batman.
Probably.
Dick Grayson is a gamble. I have no reason to believe, in fact, I have some reason to believe you could pull the same trick again, where you just move him into the back row and is ruined by you reinforcing him. So trying to hit through Dick Grayson is not correct. So then the question becomes, how do I address Gigantor McBat? If I use my 2 front row characters, which ensures that I will get him, that's not great for a variety of reasons. Because then I just don't have firepower. So I have to go after him. I think I have to go after him with my 2 back row characters, which is terrifying.
Ooh, breakthrough.
Well, I can't. You get breakthrough anyway, right? Like,
sure.
Because you've got flight on your whole team, I can't reinforce. Because you use one of your characters to hit one of my back rows.
That's tight.
And then it sure is, and then another of your characters hit the other, and I can't stop it.
Your attack matches his defense.
So what I have to do is I have to attack Batman, even though my attack matches his defense, and hope that it's more costly for you to get rid of cards from your hand because it hurts his stats. Because if I involve my front row characters at all...
Take care. You're not going to make this attack if that's your plan, because I can exhaust Batman to draw a card.
Sure. You can exhaust him himself. Right, so you can get 3 more cards. I mean, I lose if I don't make this attack successful. So let me math.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, don't rely on those stats.
Sure.
You don't have it.
Sure. Well, but you would have to... Right, if I don't have a little something. I mean, hypothetically, you could exhaust your whole team. Because if you fizzle my attack, that's game. Because you stun somebody and then pummel me with Batman. If, however, this attack is successful, you can either deal a bunch of breakthrough through one of my characters at massive risk to yourself. Though Area 1... is Area 1 concealed optional? Or
It's concealed only.
Interesting. That is interesting. Okay, we're going to go for it. We're going to see if you exhaust Batman or not.
I will, of course, exhaust Batman.
Sure. You do have 1 power up, I will use. At least I'm making you think about it.
I think that's okay. That's weird. That was not what I expected.
Who do you stun?
Is that right?
Could be.
That's right.
So I will remind you of one thing, which is obviously Goblin deals me more damage, but should you stun him, I get a counter on Melissa Gold.
Right. I will stun Goblin. I'm
I
at
take-
2, as are you.
Yes, we are tied.
Fascinating. This is nuts.
I sure wish you didn't have 14 effing cards in your hand.
Me too. Wait.
No, that's not a true thing. I actually would be feeling okay if you didn't have a quarter of your deck in your hand, but I don't think I can do anything against a quarter of your deck. Card draw serves more than just Batman. But I got like 3 cards.
Yeah. I'm going to attack Melissa Gold
Sure.
with Dick Grayson. This is crazy, I think. I'm going to play from my hand another crack shot. Target character gets +3 attack and has range this turn. +3 attack while attacking.
Yep.
I'm going to eat an attack from Abomination.
That is terrifying. I don't like that, because that means you're going to do things. So your total attack is 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll power up once as well to make
Sure.
it 16.
Of course. To make it 16, you said?
Yep.
So I would take 9, and you would take 6.
Yep.
Negative 11. So I'm in negative numbers now. You're going to eat a bomb. I guess Abomination doesn't get his counter again. You counter thwarter. So, yeah. I guess it's just a game of math. Sure. I'll attack you. I do have a couple of damage boosters. This one is a Slobber Knocker, which is +1 attack, and if Abomination gets stunned, I get to turn it face down. This one's a little more important. This is Ruthless Aggression. It's +2 attack and additional 1 attack for each time an opposing character was stunned this turn. So it is 4 attack.
So what's the total?
I'll attack you directly for 21.
Wow. Right.
His printed stats +5. 1 and 4.
I might not have you.
Don't know if you have any.
I have. The secret is I don't have anything else, so I attack Melissa Gold. Or Moonstone, or whatever it
Yep.
is.
Yeah. I don't
I
have
don't
anything
know if
else
that's
either.
enough.
I haven't mapped it. I have nothing else. Let me just make sure I have nothing else since I said it so many times. Defense on D is what I need, and I do not have it. So your attack
7 breakthrough is 10.
4.
Puts you at 21. You've won. It's too bad. That was a heck of an attack boost.
It was +5. Yeah, it was +5. I mean, Abomination was getting up there because the theory is these guys are supposed to synergize, and you stop two of his counters. Oh shit! Nope. I don't use 4 of it, so I'm 4 off because this can only target a Thunderbolt. So that one's universal, so you get 4 out of it,
Still win.
but by less. That was a close game. Yeah, your attack is. I think I'm actually at 22. Your attack was 14. My defense. I only soak. No, it's wrong. Yep, never mind. So I don't know if you had the same problem I did, but I was drawing tons and tons and tons of characters.
Yeah, me too.
And a lot of them were Green Goblin.
I mean, when I showed Chris my hand, it was
it all
It
characters?
was 10 characters,
Yep.
and I had 2 characters in my resource row at that
Oh
point.
my! Yeah, and it's funny. I ended up with 3 characters in my resource row, and ironically, I never got to play my big attack buff card that I was having. The 2 grudge matches was huge, and I'm like, this will terrify Ian, and is all I'm going to be able to do ever this game, but he doesn't know it. And it ended up being all I did that game. Was just was just that and a +1 attack from the Slobber Knocker.
I should put Big Superman in this deck.
Yeah. I don't know what you would.
If I'm playing the Batman strategy, he's
yeah.
a good follow-up.
Certainly is. Is that the unstunnable while ready
It's
one?
not stunnable while ready.
It's real. I was afraid of it. I sure was afraid of it. It's tough though. The argument against is you don't always end up in the Batman scenario.
Right, and well,
So it's
there's several Batman. So like I can recruit him as long as
Is there
I'm
a 5
Batman.
the 5-drop double damage in there?
There's an 8-drop Batman, and there
Yeah.
is those might be the only 2 Batmans. Yeah, you know, I can see the argument against it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. You could do a deck check and see what you could pull for it.
That's a lot of characters.
Boy, oh boy, I'm amazed you didn't have a little more attack there. But I guess the deck is more.
My
Oh,
plot
I'm-
twists are stuck in my deck.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I did not draw very many plot twists.
Yeah. And you had to use some. You used some along the way as you had to.
I made a slight misplay, and it might have actually made the difference. In that I had a character in my hand that would let me look at 3 cards and put 1 on top. And when I did, so I substituted Barbara Gordon and drew a card. I should have then substituted that character to stack the deck, knowing I would draw at least 1 card that
Right.
turn to get a
Yeah.
plot twist that's useful. Instead, I think I got some more. I think I got a bat signal, which is not useful.
Right. That's interesting. That was an interesting game. The one of the things I've always loved about the counter Thunderbolts, especially in the late game scenario, is
Oh, it's true. Those are the counter Thunderbolts.
and I didn't
have
get any of
those.
them. I got none of them. So that was a very odd game because of that. So I was character flooded, but all on turn 3 and later. So usually I mulligan if I don't have a 1-drop or a 2-drop,
Sure.
which I did. And then I drew a bunch of late game characters. Like my opening hand was plot twists and locations, and I'm like, well, I usually like to have some characters. So I mulliganed and then got all 3 and later and didn't draw into 1 or 2 ever. I did draw a 2-drop way late game, and he was in my resource row. But that was a strange game. I do enjoy when both of the decks in the match draw poorly or strangely in the same way. I can't believe there was a turn when I'm like, man, I'm flooded with characters, and then I top deck 2 more green goblins, and I'm like, you stop that. But then I'm like, well, maybe I can triple power up because you never see that coming.
Triple power? Heck no.
I was so ready to do it and be all
Triple
dramatic.
power?
Triple. I had 3 goblins in my hand and 1 in play.
That's ludicrous, sir.
It's preposterous. So I'm thinking, boy, that'll surprise him, and then circumstances never required that. And I powered up once, and I'm like, oh, now I can't triple power up. And then on a later turn, I powered up again. I'm like, oh, now I can't even double power up. But every time I did it, it was useful. So I can't really... I complained not because of the result, but because I wanted to do the silly thing.
Of course.
That was actually a really good game, though. -21 and -25. I enjoy a game like that. I had not run the math, also. I did not know if how that would work, and I was assuming some attack buffs. I was really close. Do you have a lot of attack on attack? I guess you've got a lot of prickly attack there, like attack on defense. That one that's
They have
+3
both.
attack.
They have a
You
lot of
roll
both. Yeah, they're very versatile.
That's what I like about them. They're unpredictable. Boy, I kept. I don't think there's any anti-hidden in them, but I kept wanting. You always want to smash 3-cost Barbara
Of
Gordon
course,
with
yeah.
Airy 1.
Mhm.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't ever do it. The deck you have selected is an A deck.
The last time these guys played, they drew flawlessly and made you very grumpy. I think that's right.
Could be
Might have
right.
been the time before that. But they did something that surprised me. It was like, hey, you know the deck in your head? Where's that now? Roar! It's like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah. Well, I mean, A decks have a tendency to sometimes have a lot of great pieces in them, and if they come together just right, they're like a double A or. I mean, you can even have one of these decks draw an S level draw, but it's just very rare.
I should get the deck that
You
it is.
should get the deck that it is. Otherwise, that would have gotten awkward quickly. I think I remember what deck it is, but that's okay. I don't. Hope they don't draw like that again, though. That was awful. Reliability is a major factor for deck placement, though. I do love. I had a work from home day today. I know I told you earlier. I'll comment on the stream. I love work. I actually really enjoy working from home.
I get distracted and I don't work very hard. That's why I don't do it.
Well,
But it is nice, especially if you have a long commute, to have the option.
yes, and there's pros and cons to it. And of course, I did it because I was a little under the weather yesterday. I was actually very under the weather yesterday. But today I was less so. But, still taking the day to recuperate was valuable. And I did work. I worked all day. But a little name, the inner die.
You won.
Did win. This deck will go...
I need all of these cards, but some other cards to make them work.
I'm going to go evens.
What do you do with that?
Evens. But
Keep it, I guess.
in my position, a lot of people talk to me a lot. So I don't get stretches of work done. And when I'm not in the office, the nature of the things people distract me with changes to more important things, and I feel like I get more blocks of time and less distraction.
You get even or odds.
I did go evens. I'm going to keep this hand.
Right. You look worried.
A peculiar draw, not necessarily a problematic one.
I'll be recruiting Kid Devil, who is a cosmic character whose power is... Defenders I control with cosmic counters get +2 attack.
About that sleeve is strange. It's not. I'm gonna need to replace that sleeve. It's like all very weirdly warped, like it was in the microwave, and that's very strange because
Don't micro your cards.
I clearly have to stop that. Defenders, yes. I'm going to recruit Bolivar Trask. When Bolivar Trask comes into play, search your deck for an Army Sentinel character card, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. And shuffle your deck. And I search for an Army Sentinel character that I want to put into my hand, and that character will be the Sentinel Mark III. Then I will shuffle my deck. Flip Prime Sentinels. Prime Sentinel says whenever an opponent plays a plot twist from his resource row, that opponent loses 1 endurance for each non-stunned Sentinel character you control.
You're a bad person.
It's only one.
I don't think we can be friends
It's
anymore.
only one.
Passing?
Well, rather it is your initiative. I'm done recruiting. I'll put Trask in my front row.
I'll attack him.
You succeeded, dealing me 1 damage.
Haha.
Aha.
Oh, there you go. That's a thing we could do.
Now it is my initiative, and I'm going to recruit Sentinel Mark III. I know you're shocked. Sentinel Mark III says, Army Sentinel characters I control get +1 attack while attacking.
Is that how I have to do this? I can't even. That's not a good plan.
True.
That's so weird. I think I gotta do it though. I'm going to recruit Betty Kane, Batwoman, whose power is cosmic. If another character I control would become stunned, instead you may stun Betty Kane if you do exhaust that character. I'm going to substitute Betty Kane for Betty Kane. And then I'm going to play a T-Jet. T-Jet costs 1 less to recruit for each Teen Titans character that came into play under your control this turn. Characters I control get +1/+1 and have flight.
Huh. That's pretty hype. That's a really clever play, actually. I commend that play. Betty Kane to Betty Kane for the early game T-Jet. Not too shabby. I'm going to team attack Kid Dev. My attack is 3.
That's true. His defense is 3. I will attempt to deal the damage to the 2-drop.
It will work.
I will take 1.
Goodbye, Bolly.
I will attack Bolivar for 3.
That'll work. I'm going to take 3. That'll work. Here's that. Here's that.
I want to do this. Whose initiative? Mine?
Yeah. I wish it weren't, but it is.
I'm going to substitute Kid Devil for Kid Devil.
We're doing weird things. I know that you're burning through cards, and I like that, but what I don't like is that you're
Activate,
keeping all your
draw a
counters.
card.
Yeah.
Use this power only if you've substituted a character into play this turn.
Darn it.
When Dark Lantern comes into play, target a character you control. While that character has the Darkseid's elite affiliation and is attacking this turn, it cannot be stunned. I will choose Betty Kane, who does not have the Darkseid's elite affiliation.
True.
I will choose Dark Lantern.
He does have the Darkseid's elite affiliation. Cool. You formed?
Sure.
I'm going to recruit Bolivar Trask.
Oh.
When he comes into play, I can search for another 2-drop.
What?
And however, I'm shuffle, even though we start from the bottom. It's a matter of my peculiar draw. I'm going to recruit that 2-drop. Same 2-drop as before. Bolivar Trask, also same as before.
What does your stupid location do? That's an ongoing
It
plot
says,
twist.
whenever an opponent plays a plot twist from his resource row, that opponent loses 1 endurance for each non-stunned Sentinel character I control.
And what does your 2-drop do?
Army Sentinel characters I control get +1 attack while attacking. As a reminder, my 2-drop Sentinels are Army. Actually, I probably going to want to... Yeah, never mind. I will form as such.
Dark Lantern will attack the 2-drop in the middle.
Yeah.
Adjacent to both, that is.
Yeah. It's a legit play, this guy here.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, it's going to work. I'll take 1 breakthrough.
You'll take 2
I'll
breakthrough.
take 2 breakthrough because of that. T-Jet. That's going to actually be pretty annoying. So I will take 4. I'm going to team attack Kid Duff.
I will stun the 2-drop.
It'll work.
attack Boulevard.
That'll work too. Take 4.
Ah, God darn it.
Well, what? Well, I guess it's my initiative. Counts for something. I'm going to recruit 4-drop Sentinel Mark IV. 4-drop Sentinel Mark IV gets +1 attack for each other non-stunned Army Sentinel character I control. Which is 1, so he's a 6/6.
I'm going to substitute Dueladent, Harlequin. God, do I want to do that? Yeah. For Kid Devil.
Sure.
Her power is Cosmic. Attackers I control with Cosmic counters get +2 defense. Draw a card. And then I will recruit Darkseid. Whenever an opponent flips a location or plays a plot twist from his resource row, draw a card.
In response, I will flip South American Sentinel base, which I can activate to return an Army Sentinel card from my code pile to my hand. Let's draw. Very, very something.
He does what?
He's a 6/6. He gets +1 attack for each non-stunned Army Sentinel character I control. Which, by my measure, is 1. Boy, I am getting mangled this game, I think. Sentinels have surprised me in the past. We'll see what happens. So all your characters are 1/1, +1/+1. Characters with a cosmic counter are also plus bonus on defense when defending.
Attack while attacking.
Bonus attack while attacking.
Sorry. Defense while attacking.
Defense while attacking. I'm going to go for your T-Jet, because I must. As a reminder, and that's attack while attacking, you said.
It's defense while attacking.
Defense while attacking. I'll get it right one of these days. So I am technically a 7/6, and +1 attack from his own power, and this guy also boosts him an additional 1.
Sure.
If you flip something, you'll take 2 whole damage.
Yep, I'm aware. I'm going to reinforce him in this game. I'll take 2.
Yep.
Going to attack the 2-drop.
Yep. And you get defense
What a mess.
while...
He does not have a cosmic counter.
that's true. Well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to return this to my hand. Power up.
Why?
Making me able to counterstun you.
Sure.
But I will be stunned.
He does not boost himself. I see.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's only... Sorry. He does boost himself, but only while attacking.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll
That
take
did
2.
work.
Yep. I must pass.
I'm going to attack your 4-drop.
Yep. You sure will. Work. I'll take 4. Not going so hot here. Really a 28.
I'm struggling a little too. Let's see how this goes.
I hope you're struggling more than you look like you're struggling.
You have no idea.
Fair enough.
And you'll continue not to. Why you gotta make me look bad, Deck?
It is your initiative.
Boy.
do have Beast Boy.
Oh, Lord. This is not the Beast Boy I hate, but you're doing just fine over there.
Beast Boy gets +3 attack. That's his cosmic power.
Yep. Lord. Beats to my face. Does Betty Kane still have her cosmic counter?
She sure does not.
So,
She sure does not.
right.
It's a useful counter, too.
Got a Sentinel Mark IV and a Wild Sentinel. The Wild Sentinel has +1 attack. Boy, such liability. Got +1 attack this turn, but since he's another non-stunned army Sentinel character, he boosts each of these guys by 1 as well. So I'll use, maybe, I don't get counters in this deck, I don't think, so I'll just use these yellow dice to mark the attack benefits that they're currently receiving. And that seems like a formation I've got. I'll read this card here. Sure read it. That card.
I've got to attack the Wild Sentinel with Darkseid, I think.
Ain't bad.
Is it my initiative even?
Sure is. Ouch. Can I do anything fancy about that? Probably not, because I'm a 1-drop and you are a high stated 4-drop. It's going to make this difficult. That's poor. That is poor. Like just to get.
Wow.
Otherwise, I'm so wrecked. I will eat it. Take 5 breakthrough. Jeez.
The stack is 7.
I'm gonna take even more because of that cursed equipment. All right. Fine. Well, but see, you're out of cards. I can't do anything else. I can't do it. It's bad. I will take 7. 21.
Didn't say out of cards.
By that deck standards. Yeah, I'm gonna team tag these.
Nice. Yeah, that's play. I will deal. It doesn't matter what you deal the damage, but I deal the damage.
17.
39. Man.
I'm getting wrecked. Terrible game so far. Maybe I'll turn it around if your draw is actually secretly bad enough. You do anything with them back row characters?
Nope. I do not have range.
Before the end of my turn, I'll activate this to grab an army sentinel. I'll calculate them. Then at least it's my initiative. That's cool. Something. So I'm gonna recruit Master Mold and hope I can pull off a miracle here. Master Mold cannot attack. Also, my army Sentinel characters get +2 attack. Also, I can activate him to put an army Sentinel character card from my hand into my front row or support row. I can only do this during my recruit step. And Sentinel Mark III, which are the ones that give my Army Sentinel characters +1 attack while attacking. Then I will flip Underground Sentinel Base.
Ooh,
Activate.
Draw something.
Reveal a face-down Army Sentinel character card from your resource row and move it face up to your front row or support row. Used only during your recruit step.
I got a card.
You get it even on a location?
Yep.
Ugh, so rude. Alright, then I gotta figure out a form. So the Sentinel Mark V says, while ready, Army Sentinel characters I control are reinforced. It also has a boost that I'm not paying at the moment. Sure wish I didn't give you a card. That is, at all times, all of my army characters get an additional +1 attack while attacking. Also, if you flip something, you will take 5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
The plot twist. $17.39. My work's cut out for me, I think. If by some miracle you stall, I've still got a shot.
Cosmic. Characters I control that came into play this turn get +2 attack and can attack as though they had flight and range.
Yeah, that is a thing. Durr. I'm in pretty bad shape, unfortunately. What with the 22 life difference. A dual dent gives defense when attacking, which is annoying. So she's a potential target. Betty Kane gives your whole freaking team flight. Apologize. I do have to remember a Master Mold's power, which is very important, which is that all my characters actually are an additional +2 attack. That could be pretty significant. Wish I had a better setup. So you can't stop. I mean, enough of your dudes have flight and range anyway. That going for Betty Kane is not necessarily my best first attack. Why does that one thing have to be the way it is? It is moderately peeving. It's peeving. Guess I'm gonna attack Darkseid. I do get +1 attack while attacking, so my attack is 11.
And your defense is?
6. It's pretty peeving. That sucks. You're sitting at 17 life, and there is no attack on the table that doesn't get you stunned or ruined. It's very frustrating.
I get Sentinel Mark V.
play.
13 is the attack.
Yeah. Yep. That's a lot of attack. I do declare. 13 is the attack. My 7 defense. And that's going to work. He reinforces himself, but he won't reinforce anyone else. I'll take 4. I'm at 9. 9 is my totals. Almost all of your characters done everyone.
Playing a weenie deck.
But it's
not my
so
fault.
are you. You're also playing a weenie deck.
I'm not.
T-Jet is.
I played on
doing
curve.
things. That's true.
This is not a weenie deck.
The Subs Titans isn't a weenie deck.
No, they're an uncurved deck.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Their weenies stick around.
Sure. Damn it. It's so bad. How do I get out of this heap?
Kind of looks like you can team attack Beast Boy, and that gets you the next turn.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not a good position.
true. It
It's
sure
next turn.
isn't. It sure isn't. Could get him.
I think you must. I don't think there's another play.
Yeah. No. My other play is
Concede.
it's sad. Well, no, not quite. I want to see if I can at least get you below 30.
Team attack Beast Boy, you will.
That's true. Man, if only your deck would somehow fall apart. Got a lot of firepower. It's not helping me much. Wish these guys had better stats. I've always been a little sad they don't have slightly better stats.
Their power's good.
That's pretty good. But the result is my 2-drop can't even, I can't stun your 1-drop and not get stunned back, which would be true even if you didn't have +1/+1 from the damn T-Jet.
You want 3 defense on a 2-drop with a good power? Yeah, I guess
A 1/3?
Yeah.
I would take it a 1/3. I'm gonna hit Betty King.
Okay, I will reinforce Betty King. This seems like you will not get me below 30. I will hit the small dude. I assume you
have
get
a
reinforcement.
reinforcement, yeah.
I don't get to draw because Darkseid's not here.
That's why I hit him first. Assuming, no, I will pass.
You live.
I do.
I gotta lose TJ.
I've got to lose these two. That's interesting. If I'm using this, it must be first. Before those go there. Is that correct? I think that's correct. And draw a card and another card.
Get some curds.
Curd birds. Come on, Sentinels, do something really amazing. I want you to be awesome. Be awesome. Sure wish it wasn't your initiative.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish that weren't the case.
Well,
Here's where you don't have anything. This is the turn. Don't have anything.
I'm going to do some weird things.
Oh, that means they're gonna be good things.
Not necessarily. I'm going to substitute Dark Firestorm for Darkseid. I know you love Darkseid. He's really good.
It's okay to see Darkseid go.
This is a sad substitute for me. When Dark Firestorm comes into play, draw a card.
Right on. Well, you're just gonna return it.
I will activate my Furnace of Apocalypse to draw a card.
You don't like cards, I don't like it.
Reveal my other Furnace of Apocalypse, which I will activate to draw a card.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm going to reveal Unravel Reality. As an additional cost to play Unravel Reality, discard a substitute card. Make sure I do this correctly. So ongoing, whenever you substitute a Darkseid's Elite character into play, you may replace target face-up non-team-up resource. I will then finally spend 6 of my 7 resource points to recruit Cassie Sandsmark, whose power is Cosmic. Cassie Sandsmark has invulnerability while in combat with a character of greater cost. Not going to be an issue this game, but then I will substitute Dark Thanagarian for Dark Firestorm.
Oh, my word.
And Dark Thanagarian's power is, when Dark Thanagarian comes into play, target another character you control. While that character has the Darkseid's Elite affiliation, this turn, it gets +2 while attacking and has flight. I will choose Dark Champion.
Yeah.
This isn't quite going the way I want.
Come on, Sentinels. Be amazing.
I will replace your ping location
Oh my. How did you do that? Sorry.
with Unravel Reality.
Okay.
I just did a substitute. And I will recruit a T-Jet. God, everybody's a target. I guess
That's
it's
a really good thing to get. Did you take the
Yes,
thing
it's
from
on
this?
Cassie.
I'm sorry. You took the.
I did not play anything from my research room. Oh, I did play Unravel Reality.
So that would only deal you 3.
Okay, yes.
Pretty sustainable to get rid of it for future plays. It's a pretty potent get rid of card. For sure.
Did I do all of that right? I think I did enough of it right. There was a reason for me to do it slightly differently, but it's okay. Did you get all that?
I'm gonna be honest. I began to get a little fuzzy.
I'll explain things as they go.
All right. My only question to you is, what are the effects that are in play based on your substitute characters? Just refresh me on that piece of the puzzle.
Just the dudes that came into play this turn.
Yeah,
Is
the hidden effects of substitute.
only Dark Thanagarian boosts his attack by 2.
Okay.
That is literally the only effect from all of those plays. However, all of these characters also have abilities.
Right.
She can't be stunned by a character of greater cost, which doesn't matter. And he boosts everybody who came into play this turn by 2.
Which is these
Which is
3.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Okay. Right on. Boy. Well,
finally was able to draw some frickin' cards and do stuff.
It's annoying because I can play this and it's not useful in any way. It's really annoying because it's always fun to
I wonder what
play.
it does.
I'm teamed up.
Yeah, I'm not. It's fine.
So I am going to. Well, I mean, he boosts.
Everybody came into play.
Yeah, so there's nothing that's team stamped Darkseid's elites that's at least on the table. Is T-Jet's bonus?
It's
team
for
stamped?
everybody.
It is for everybody. I'm going to recruit Bastion. Bastion says, discard a Sentinel character card from your hand, and target character gets +1/+1 this turn. Then I am going to activate Underground Sentinel Base and reveal another Mark IV and bring that into play. And then
I should have gone for more Sentinel Underground Base.
I'm going to activate Master Mold. And I'm going to bring out
It's going to be a close game,
Mark
I
II.
think.
Yep. I'm going to try and make it as close as I can. So there is a little bit of review that is warranted. I have one really crazy play, and I don't know what the outcome of that will be because we've got a lot of stuff too. So I'm going to review my powers in play. So
Please do.
Master Mold gives all my dudes +2 attack. Pardon me, everyone but Bastion. And himself. So these 4 get +2 attack from Master Mold. So he's like your Dark Champion. We already covered Bastion. These guys get +1 attack for each other non-stunned Army Sentinel character I control, which is only 2 because it's specific. Pardon me, which is 3. So that's just their innate bonus. And all my dudes that are armies, which is again just these 4, get +1 attack while attacking, courtesy of him. This guy gives them all reinforcements. All of my whole team, Army Sentinel, so it also does not include them. Gives them all reinforcement while he is ready. So that's a lot of stuff. Sure wish I wasn't going to get counter-stacked on everything I do. Boo.
I'm going to attack your 4-drop Dark Thunder Guardian. The 4-drop that reinforces it.
And your attack is 8.
Yes.
Right.
I'm a snake.
True. So I am going to Bastion power him up twice. 1 Master Mold and 1 Wild Sentinel. So I'm gonna represent that with counters that go away at the end of the turn, but it is attack and defense.
Okay. I'm going to play Substitute Heroes. Target substitute attacker you control gets +X attack, where X is the cost of a character that left play while under your control this turn.
Oh
that
my
number is 3.
God. Okay, 3. Okay. I thought it was 6. I thought you did one of him.
I screwed that up. I could have gotten it to 6.
Oh my goodness.
That was a misplay. He cannot cause breakthrough this attack. I should finish reading the blacklist. You got nervous. I wanted to reassure you.
No, that's it's okay. All right. So I am going to play Reconstruction Protocol, which allows me to return to my hand up to 3 Army Sentinel character cards from my KO'd pile, which I will discard. I do have precisely 3. I calculated that very carefully.
Target Darkseid's elite attacker control gets +2 attack this attack, and an additional +2 attack this attack if it came into play this turn.
And an additional +2 attack if it came into play this turn. I think it's time for the big one.
Uh-oh.
I will play Cover Fire. Target defender gets +2 defense this attack for each other non-stunned character with range. I control, which is 12. Pardon me, which is a total of 10. Boy, I hope you can't get that. Alright. That does go away with the attack, of course.
That's unfortunate.
Alright. It is worth noting that Master Mold, as a reminder, gives my dudes +2. I should account for that. I think I have to lead with Bastion against the T-Jet. And if I lose Bastion's power, that's very, very, very costly. Boy, that would be costly.
Also, you're not anywhere near strong enough with just Bastion.
That is true. I could throw somebody in fairly low cost to myself.
That's true.
Alright, I'll do it with these two. So that attack is 10, 13, and they're each +1 from his power. So 15 is the attack. Does that give me enough wiggle room? Boy, does that not? That's depressing. Ugh, you've got the T-Jet. Sorry, that's 15. 15 not enough. Why is 15 not enough? Do I have to use 2 on my big swings? I think that I do. Boy, that's real sad. Alright. 22 is my attack.
That I'm not gonna do something about.
Gonna get counter stunned. Don't like it. But I can do.
That's funny. It'll work. I will stun this one.
I'll take 4 and I'm at 3. Sure is a very, very precise amount of life I have. I like doing this.
Just reminding myself what his power is.
And that was +2 attack and flight.
Yep. Yep. It's stupid. going to attack your 2-drop with Beast Boy.
Oh, interesting. As a reminder, he is reinforced by
Mhm.
my ready character. It's funny, I can see why that is the right play as well. Take the 2. There's no way
Yeah.
around that. Right on. A 1. What the hell do I do with this? So, if I were to attack with my Mark IV, which I could do, it's big, I lose reinforcement on my team, and you hit me with Chuckles McGee, and I'm just dead. So that can't be the choice I make. Cool. I could attack Beast Boy with, well, sorry. So let's say we rule that out. That leaves me with Bastion. Oh, sorry. So if I attack with Bastion against your Beast Boy, which I could do, you would take some damages. You would reinforce. I would probably, but not certainly be, or I'd probably not be counterstunned. You swing with Dark Chuckles against some. I'll be reinforced, but I'll be at the negatives. Boy, this is, if I run into the assumption you have absolutely nothing, this is going to be very, very close. So if you have something, I have lost. I must attack your back character. That's
Take
pretty
to 12.
close.
Alright, we'll attack your 4-drop. Nope.
Yep. How many cards in your hand?
2.
Alright. So let's play the math game. We're close enough, I think it's worth it. You've probably already run the numbers. If you attack Sentinel Mark IV, which you have, and I'm stunned, I'll be at -3. So the question is, what does my 12/12 do? You drive me to -3. If you have nothing, again, if you have nothing, I would hit you for... I do have a lot of attack. What are the odds you have reinforcement on Beast Boy? Probably would have reinforced for Dubois if you did. That's a lot more life. But if I get that counter stun, but if I don't get the counter stun, boy, that's a crapshoot either way. What are the odds that you have reinforcement for Beast Boy? Your stats are your 12/12. Why must everything hinge upon this one moment? I think I have to just accept it. I think if I do not accept it, I think there's a it all depends on what your down cards are, and I just can't know. So I must take the safer choice, which is this one. I am at -3.
I'm really alarmed you thought there was something you could do to change the outcome of that attack. I was over you a lot in both cases.
That is true. I could not have foiled the attack. There was a chance. I emphasize chance at a counter stun. But there was also a chance that you would have been able to stop that counter stun. So if I attack you, my attack is 14.
Right.
If you do nothing, deal you 10, which would put you at -3. You do have another reconstruction protocol. So I will use 1 power on my character and hope that is enough.
That's enough. I made a misplay that turn.
You did
But
make
that's
a
okay.
misplay earlier with the 6 versus the 3.
Well,
Though that one would have been
did not
negated by
change
the
the
switch.
outcome of the turn necessarily.
I had that was my last play, so I was contemplating doing that to get the 3 to get the counter stun, but then you only need a single power up, and I will have lost. And that is why.
Is 3 enough for a counter stun in that circumstance? You only had 8
I
attack.
had no idea.
That's
No,
8.
you're right. I had 8. Ha! Ha ha! You're right. I couldn't have done that anyway. Touche.
I should have team attacked him. Yes.
That
Rather
was
than attack your 2 drop.
I was wondering if you're gonna. I hadn't mathed that. The outcome there, of course, is I can't stop it because I don't have another one of these. You picked apart enough of my team anyway. This is only good on like the first attack. So then you get him. I stun your visible character. So I've got these 2 to go through Duella. So it's still a lot of damage, but it might be less damage than the way I went. I wasn't sure which was the right play. That was the play I thought you were going to do, but I do see I see why this is a strong argument. When you watch the replay for this, we'll actually have to evaluate. I don't know if you did the post math on that.
I did not. Let's see.
Your
Let's
team
wonder
up,
if we
sir.
could arrive at it quickly. No, I'm too tired for that.
It's a lot of rewind. That was one of those games where it took every single card, except for 2. I technically had 2
I was
bastards left.
amused, and you know, I was ahead,
You were.
but I was ahead most of that game because I played on the early turns and you didn't. I got ahead of you on turns 1 and 2, and I rode it for 5 turns. And you complained the whole time, and I was not able to use any of my powers. I was
That is
playing the
true.
stats of my characters for 4 entire turns.
What was did you just have characters? Was that all you drew? Was characters?
So I was I was top decking the drop on each turn.
That's pretty useful.
That's useful, but the useful powers I have require the substitutes,
Right.
and I couldn't afford to do it because of that situation.
Well, and that's why I did things like go
And
for
because
Darkseid
I
on
because
that
I
one.
opted to do it early to get
Right.
ahead, which was a smart play.
Oh, it
it
was-
kept me in the game, but
Yeah.
but in other ways it cost me the game.
Well, it's very tough to say. I think that was a very well played match on your part, notwithstanding the possibility of that foible there, and it was. I mean, I top decked Bastion on the last turn for the record. If I hadn't got him, I clearly would have lost. But the that was a very stressful game, quite frankly. We'll get time for one more if you're feeling.
I can do it. I'm not, but I can do it.
Sure. I mean, we're moving into S tier, so it won't be a low impact game. But no, I mean, I was not aware of the limitations you were facing.
Right.
So from my side of the table, I'm like, you have a bunch of unplayed stuff. I don't know what to do.
And like my mental dialogue is like, man, all I've got is this 9/9. You're over there like, oh, he's got a 9/9.
Well, I will say the
The T-Jet helps. It pushes everybody a little
that
bit
was
up.
so frustrating because it meant that even in a scenario when I could power up.
All right, good night, Chris.
Have a good night. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the cards and conversation tonight. But like the T-Jet really mattered because I've got a couple of stat mods, but not much. Like I got that crazy defensive one, which is useful super late game for that kind of swing. And then not a whole lot else, like Bat and Bastion.
Boy, I really thought that attack was going to work.
It was
crucial. That was a crucial fizzle.
Oh, you would have had me if I couldn't have got it. But I was getting worried because you were pumping on
plus 9 attack, plus 7 attack.
Yeah, no, you had a lot of attack. You were a little over from the start.
Plus 10.
It's
Come
silly.
on.
It's silly.
I had contemplated
So cover fire would be really useful in the GCPD deck.
Right.
In that I could
Oh,
use it
yeah,
to
yeah.
get a really huge stat
Oh, yeah.
boost. However, it's not useful because there's no character in the GCPD deck that you can attack that I want to save.
That is true. That
I
was
would be
that was
getting 10
interesting.
attack on like a GCPD officer. There's no reason to do that. Or 10 defense, rather.
Yes, of course, is the
Of
last
course.
tier. The yeah, I mean that was interesting. Again, the T-Jet was rough because the Sentinels don't. I mean, they're satisfying in that they are very successfully a swarm deck. You have to cross a critical mass and get to a swarm, and then they're scary. But and so the battle is pushing against that for sure. And I got my setup pieces early, so I'm like, great. Now I just need characters, and I did top deck a couple of characters at a couple of key points as well. And Trask is actually not supposed to be an early game play. It's
No,
supposed
I
to
knew
be
that.
late
I knew
game
something
to
was
surge.
wrong when you put Trask in play.
Yep. But I didn't want you to get ahead either, and you were playing characters that had counters. So I'm like, I got.
I'm pretty sure I literally had no drop prior to the turn I played it that entire
No,
game.
that was
It was
something.
it was really
It was
messed up.
very stressful. I was stressed. That was a very stressful game, the whole game. But yeah, I was, man, that was nutty. That is funny. I contemplated for so long. I forgot I was 8. Because my defaults, I keep thinking their default stat is 6/6, and it's 5/6. So to be below curve, or to be on curve, I need 2 other characters in play with them. But of course, they benefit from Master Mold, which is pretty critical.
Yeah, I mean their balance is you have other cards that
That
put them into
benefit them.
play for
Totally.
free.
Totally. Well, and that's always the Sentinel's strength, is like their individual cards, especially their 4-drop. I never do the 3-drop that game.
I don't love
Are
this,
not
but
good
I'm
on
gonna
their
have to do
own, but they have a lot of things that cause, synergize on the number of characters I have and so forth. So, all right, I will go the outer die this time.
it. You've won. You've won every roll tonight.
Well, it's worked out well the first 2. Well, it worked out well this. I don't remember what the hell this deck does. I'm gonna go. Evens, but I'm not sure that's the right call. We'll just do it. Oh!
That was beautiful. That's the song of Kyle's ancestors.
That draw. Hey, you stay at the crowd. I'm going to discard it. Is that right? I haven't shuffled or done anything fancy. Not that I would shuffle. Oh, man. That's like one of those, here's a whole bunch of cards that are useless with the cards you really need. I should probably keep it. I'm gonna
There's
keep
a bunch of cards that are useless with. Oh, okay, I get it.
It's like
Yep.
1 card is useful, 3 cards are useful 5 turns from now.
Sure.
We'll keep it. In S tier, that's a huge gamble, though, but we'll keep it.
I didn't keep a great hand. If it makes you feel any better.
Oh, God.
It's not terrible. It's not great.
I did go evens, so you has dibs.
Why, it's our old pal Maggie Sawyer.
Maggie.
Defenders adjacent to Maggie Sawyer have reinforcement.
I have Mr. Terrific.
Oh no.
Mr. Terrific says exhausted characters I control get +1/+1 while in combat with a character of greater cost. He's concealed optional. I will make him concealed.
Maggie Sawyer will let you for 1.
That she will. I will pass. Don't do that. Character's awesome. Also not useful in the immediate time frame.
Boy, what a weird draw I'm having over here. What a weird draw.
It's awesome. I'm not going to play a 2-drop.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to play Apparition. Oh, you're not going to like Apparition.
Uh-oh.
Apparition's power is remove a cosmic counter from a character you control. Target character you control can attack hidden characters this turn. She is Cosmic Surge.
Can't do it this turn, fool.
What you gonna do?
Pass.
I'm gonna hit you for 2.
Only 2? Are you not teamed up? What is
No.
happening? We are tired. I will pass.
I'm gonna hit you for 1.
1. Oh my god. Draw me some cards. Oh my.
That's totally normal. We are normal, functional people.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Drip. Oh, this draw.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah. Should miss all the drops from here on out.
I'm going to recruit Jasmine Cullen, Kid Quantum. I may remove a cosmic I surged. I may remove a cosmic counter from a character I control rather than pay her recruit cost.
Cool.
I'm also going to recruit Keelix. Keelix's power is free. Recover target stun team Superman character you control. Use this only during the recovery phase and only once per turn. Hang on. I will team up. To flip, choose 2 different team affiliations among characters you control. Cross over those affiliations. Protected team Superman characters you control have +1 defense. This is stupid.
Do you have 4?
Do you not have it?
Well, it's funny because I don't have a 3-drop, but I do have a 2-drop and a 1-drop, neither of which I played last turn. My 2-drop is Prince Khufu, Hawkman.
I don't like any of these characters. You may not have them.
He has Vengeance. Whenever Prince Khufu becomes stunned, I may KO him. If I do, search my deck for a card that shares a name or identity with Prince Khufu. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. I also have Atom Smasher, whom I may activate to give a 1/1 counter to.
What is Mr. Terrific's power?
Hilariously not relevant in most cases. He gives characters +1/+1 while they are exhausted and in combat with a character of greater cost. Because you have all weenies and I have all weenies, that's not particularly beneficial.
Well, kind of is.
It's beneficial if you use one of your 2-drops to attack my 1-drop Atom Smasher. Or my 1-drop Sloan.
I think that what I will do is remove Apparition's counter to give Keelix the power to attack hidden characters this turn and attack your hidden character with Keelix.
That'll work. I will take 2. Right. So that's adjacent characters get reinforcement,
Correct.
and all your characters in the background get +1 defense.
Protected Team Superman characters.
Right. It's Team Superman. It's Cosmic Surge, which I don't like.
She doesn't like you either.
You control. But that's a lot of suck. I'm gonna attack Maggie Sawyer. 3. With my Get him, Khufu. Get him, Khufu.
I will take one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I will attack Atom Smasher. 2.
Myself again. That'll work. I'll take 1.
Ooh, 1.
1. I will pass.
Me too.
My draws tonight have been unusual, I'll tell you that much.
But you have initiative, I believe.
That is true. I am going to recruit Carter Hall Hawkman, who says discard a card that shares an identity with an attacker or defender you control to power them up. It's worded interesting. I'm going to read it exactly the way it's worded because it has weird things. Discard a card that shares an identity with an attacker or defender you control. Power up target attacker or defender you control. So like in a team attack, I could discard one that shares it and power them. Ally, when a character you control becomes powered up, it gets an additional +1 defense with this attack. And I will also recruit a T-Spheres to Atom Smasher, which gives him +3/+3 while in combat with a character of greater cost.
I'm going to recruit Vartox.
Vartox!
Whose power is Cosmic Free. Remove target defender you control from this attack. Vartox becomes the defender. Uses only once per turn.
It's legit.
He's the hero of Tynola.
Oh,
Just thought you'd want to know that.
thanks. I'm going to team attack Bartox. Then I'm going to play Double Play. Double Play says ready target JSA team attacker you control that shares an identity with another attacker you control. They both have the identity Hawkman. The character you readied cannot be stunned while team attacking this turn and cannot cause breakthrough this turn.
That's a pretty good play.
It's a cool card. I don't actually get to... in the original iteration of this deck, I didn't get to play that one very much. Are you looking at things?
It's a pretty good play.
I don't play that.
You don't get to do stuff like that unanswered.
Oh man, what are you, an S deck over there? Are you like, is your body the deck of an S?
Exhaust a protected Team Superman defender you control. If you do, remove that defender from this attack, and the character protecting it becomes a defender.
That's sad. It's even sadder because you can still get my 2-drop.
Try.
It'll work. I'll KO him. Search for a character shares an identity with.
going to pass.
Yeah. That is an option. That's kind of annoying. You are actually in a surprisingly good position there defensively, which is peeving.
Trying.
If I hit Vartox, if I don't hit Kleenex, you're going to get all your characters back, which is incredibly irritating. So irritating. If I attack anyone but Vartox, though, I'm attacking Vartox, which is also irritating. You're in a damn fine position. So what is the best outcome for me? Is there any way I can get Kleenex without a lot more flight than I appear to have at the moment? So how do I save the most life out of this exchange? I can't. If I do that, maybe that'll work. Boy, that's effing thin. And if it doesn't, that is ruined. I'm going to team attack Vartox for a gajillion. As a reminder, my 4-cost character cannot be stunned while team attacking this turn.
Interesting. I'll attempt to stun your 1-drop, I suppose.
I think that's my best play, and that's annoying.
Team attack for the turn. That's good.
You get your characters back, but I've eaten 2 of your counters, which is not trivial.
This character is Cosmic Surge.
What's that?
This character's Cosmic Surge.
Oh, that's true. So he might yet get it back.
Quite as much.
Still matters. It's 1 less you have this turn.
That's true. There's something I need. There you are. Where have you been? Where have you been? I have a Cosmic Tuning Fork,
Oh, snap.
which I will read for our viewers.
Do it. Read it.
Activate, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, put all revealed Cosmic character cards in your hand, and the remaining cards in the bottom of your deck. Discard a card for each card you put into your hand. A Cosmic Tuning Fork, not a Cosmic character.
Whoa.
Nor is Candle.
Whoa. That was unusually fortunate for me.
Cool.
Cool indeed.
Is it my initiative?
It is. It is for 5.
That's super weird. Is that what I do? Let me look at this stuff. What? That seems like nonsense.
I hear you. I hear you.
That can't be right. It can't be right.
I feel you. Feel the not rightness. I feel the not rightness.
Alright, well, let's do it this way. I recruit Lana Lang and Kinetics. Lana Lang's power is I may discard a Team Superman character card rather than recruit her from my hand. No. I may discard a Team Superman character card from my hand rather than pay her recruit cost.
Right on.
Also, I may exhaust a non-defending Team Superman character I control and target defender I control as reinforcement this attack. Kinetic's power is remove a cosmic counter from a character you control, exhaust target unprotected character. Use this power only during your attack step.
Well, I got Carter Hall, Hawkman, and an Amulet of Naboo. 5-drop Carter Hall says Carter Hall gets +1/+1 for each exhausted, non-stunned, non-army character I control. Qatar Hall, Hawkman, this guy now has the Amulet of Naboo, which says equipped character can be equipped with any number of fate artifacts. So it gets +1/+1 for each fate artifact I control and has flight and range. Flight and range being relatively useless, but +1/+1. So I have a 9/7 and 8/7 that gets 1/1 bigger for every exhausted character I have, himself included.
Well, I'm going to exhaust your 2 characters that I can exhaust.
In response, of course, I will add a counter.
Of course you will.
And he's bigger.
And I think I'm going to pass.
Yep. Thought you might. It's not unreasonable for me to do 1 attack for a small amount of extra damage, but who would I hit? That's a 7. It's tempting to go for Kinetics just because I hate her so much, but I think I'm actually going to hit Kleenex just to play it safe.
Alright. I will reinforce it.
Just get extra 2. Ties us up. Ties us up.
Boy, I sure hope I'm building to something.
All I need you to do is not get 2 cards that you're probably going to have or already have. And I'll be okay.
I got 2 counters.
Yep. Sure did. Got a 6-drop.
I'm going to use my tuning fork.
Come on, not the cards.
For an apparition who goes into my hand and a Bartox who goes into my...
Bartox is going to be really useful, unfortunately. Before you do anything else, I'll read my 6-drop.
Go ahead.
It's Power Girl, who's a 13/12 and gets +4/+4 while in combat with a character of greater cost. She has a boost I didn't pay. Just does more of that, basically.
It's starting to get a little tricky. Oh, I didn't even. Kleenex was reinforced last turn. I
He
didn't
was.
even have to activate Lanolin.
Oh, right, from Maggie Sawyer. True that.
I'm going to discard Apparition and Vartox. I think is the right play. That's kind
What?
of weird.
I can't take that. I can't. I just can't. Can't take it. I am formed.
Yep. I'm going to boost Bouncing Boy. I'm going to boost him.
That is one of the 2 cards I didn't want
guess.
you to have.
I'm boosting him too.
You putting a cosmic counter on Maggie Sawyer?
Nope.
Because I was gonna say this is a
It's
new
fine,
strategy.
It's fine. I don't know how to form with this many characters.
I'll see if I can help you out with that.
This one, yeah, the good old G
Good, good old.
Protect Lana. That's funny.
It's actually a unique equipment. You can only have one amulet of Naboo in play at a time.
This is so.
Right. Well, unshockingly, I must attack kinetics.
I'm shocked.
We're all a little shocked.
Unshocked. Okay. I'm going to play Desperate Sacrifice. You are in fact attacking Bouncing Boy. I will also exhaust Kinetics. I can't do that yet. I can't do it that way.
Okay.
I will exhaust Lana Lang to reinforce Bouncing Boy.
You don't have to, do you?
No, I don't. You are correct.
I got this.
Yeah!
I know how to play your deck.
I will take 2, and I will return Bouncing Boy to my hand. I don't think I read that part of him. Did I read any part of him?
You should read him.
Whenever Bouncing Boy becomes stunned during the combat phase, you may return him to owner's hand. He's cosmic, and he has a boost. Boost X when Bouncing Boy comes into play. Put a cosmic counter on each of up to X target cosmic characters you control.
That's a good plot twist to have in this case. 2 of them this game. Oh, that's so critical. You're getting your redirect. Oh, at least I got some dudes you got to go through.
That you do.
As a reminder,
That you do.
due to my exhausted character.
I will reveal that I have Candor.
You had the 2 cards I didn't want you to have. Those are always the 2, Bouncing Boy and Candor.
Non-army Team Superman characters I control with a cost of 3 or less get +3, +3.
Why can't you just one game not get those 2 blasted cards? Oh.
And I think that I attack Atom Smasher. I think it's got to really get going, even though it's a little risky.
You know, ain't that risky. Of course, I will give myself counters. I'd actually
I think
even
that'll get the counters done.
No, yeah, it does. It ties you for it. You're right. Yeah, so real.
So I lose the counter. She's stunned for 1.
As am I.
And then I pull this counter to exhaust the foreground.
Yeah, of course. As you must. I mean, my best play is still terrible. Oh god, but you've got Bouncing Boy every effing turn. Oh my god. That deck is so good. I'm gonna hit Kleenex.
Okay. So, I could spend 2 life, by which I mean it would cost me 2 additional life to redirect to
Yep.
Vartox, but then I recover both my characters for free. I think that's a worthwhile play.
It is, and it's infuriating.
So I will take 4.
God damn it. It's such a strong position.
Yeah, I got a pretty good setup this game.
Yeah, actually do. It's what the deck does. And I got my team. I guess I should be grateful for that, but you're getting close to doom turn here. So I need to pull some real magic off the top of this deck.
I mean, I'm not very effectively fighting back yet.
Well, you don't have to.
In fact, I probably should have continued to attack that turn. I don't know why we ended the turn.
I could not. Pretty easy to reset.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, you would be losing characters if you did, unless you had more recovery that I'm not seeing.
Sure.
So I thought that was a reasonable play. Because I actually made you lose someone that time, didn't I? Or did you do something?
Nope.
Oh, because that's right, you redirect. Yeah. Yeah, so if you had attacked again, you would be down a character.
Think. It's taller. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
Why couldn't I have gotten that thing? Gotten that thing.
Does that make it my initiative again? It does.
Yes. Yes, it does. Guess I'll wait and see what you do before I do anything.
Well, it's not perfect.
I hear that.
God, we're even. I'll put a Mother Box on Lana Lang. Mother Box's power is remove a cosmic counter from a character you control, gain 3 endurance. Also, I may pay 3 endurance to put a cosmic counter on target character with cosmic I control. That power I can only use once a turn. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to use my fork. Let's see what the fork does. The fork delivers Triad. Ooh, that's better.
Oh.
And Candor, I lose again.
Oh. I can't believe you burned a Candor and still had a goddamn Candor. I needed you to not have a Candor and Bouncing Boy.
I have to recruit Triad, which means I can't recruit the Mother Box. Or I can't recruit Bouncing Boy, but I have to recruit Bouncing Boy. Well, Mother Box gets Vartox's counter back.
So does Bouncing Boy.
I'm not going to recruit Bouncing Boy next turn. Well, maybe that's the right play.
Not going to recruit Bouncing Boy. Why would that be?
I don't know.
All the pieces. Always get all the pieces.
So I am going to recruit a Mother Box. Not on Triad, though. I mean, not on Lana. I'm going to recruit Triad. Triad's not unique. When Triad comes into play, you may discard a card. If you do, search your deck for up to 2 cards named Triad, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck. Deck may contain no more than 3 cards named Triad. Triad. So I'm going to recruit 2 more Triads and a Mother Box.
I feel like I almost feel like I need to reevaluate all of my S decks to make sure I get my early drops, because I lose these games because I just can't match you early game.
Well,
and you get your early game setup, and then I lose, and that happens.
Or I can take this out of rotation if the problem is this deck.
It's true for Atomic Skull too. It's the same thing. My only hope, Atomic Skull is still pretty brutal, but like, if I always say I feel better about these fights when I make
move my
early
hidden area
drops.
in the middle.
Yep.
Mother Box goes on Triad here. Kinetics goes in the front row, actually. Maybe also Triad does. Let's get complicated. Maggie goes in the back row. Triad. Do. Should probably Triad. How about like that? Maggie Sawyer's not much use. How about like that? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Sure. Boy, it's really hard to form lots of characters.
Yeah. Yep.
And each of those is cosmic. 1, 2, 3.
We got a 5-drop. It's Our Man.
Sour Man.
Our Man is a 7/7, and I can give you some life to make him an 11/11 once one attack a turn. That's a free payment power. And I will form. Is there a way to form? Probably. It matters. No. I guess I will.
I think Kid
that's
Quantum
fine.
has a. Did you stun Kid Quantum last turn? Did I attack with her last turn? I did. That's how she was stunned.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I remember things.
Yes, I'm formed.
Yep. Well. I think that I will exhaust your 1-drop, 6-drop, and 5-drop. And then I will team attack your 4-drop with kinetics and vortex.
Oh, sorry, the 4-drop you said?
That one, yep.
So kinetics is massive stat boosts. Vartox does
It's
not.
15.
Yeah, that'll work. I will take 4.
Stun vortex.
Yeah. Is that true? Is there an advantage to stunning kinetics? Maybe I stun kinetics. I will stun kinetics.
Kinetics.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it matters not, but I think it's still the right play. And then I will attack Kleenex. For a lot.
Right.
Did I not put down a resource this turn? I should have
Possible.
done that. I did that.
This was a mistake.
Which part?
Put him there.
I mean, you can reinforce with Lana.
That's true. This was a mistake.
Should they all pin in your front row?
I will reinforce with Lana. That's the right play.
And the depressing thing is it's almost the right play for you to not... If you do have Marvel, which seems pretty likely, it seems like the right play for you isn't to bother attacking. Because you're going to be down characters.
Maggie Sawyer's going to attack Atomic
Whoa.
Smasher.
You're a madman.
I will reveal Smallville. Protected team Superman characters you control get +1/+1 and have range. Well, that's why it was okay. But she's not protected. That was the fuck up.
Right, I think that's just going to work. I'll double check. So what are you?
+3 defense plus... No, sorry.
You're +4/+4?
+5 defense +4 attack.
+5 defense.
So 5/7 is what I am.
Right. I do have an advance warning to give a JSA defender I control +2 defense this attack. If it's exhausted, maybe I should save that. No, if it's exhausted, you get 3 life and it gets another 2. So +4 defense.
Okay. Well, that's gonna fizzle, huh? I'm gonna get stunned and you're...
Nope.
No, it's just a bounce. Okay.
One gigantic 1-drop bounces against another one. guess the argument to keep attacking is if you also have recovery, then that is an acceptable play. Or a play I understand. If you don't have Marvel,
Well, the secret is I don't need Kilix, I don't need Maggie Sawyer, and I don't need Lana Lang.
right, because they're not cosmic.
All useful.
They all receive the
But I
stat
don't
benefit,
need them.
right?
Yes. So I should at least make you lose something. Your 5-drop is small. Why is your 5-drop small?
I can give him +4/+4 and give you some life.
Ah, that's why.
Once per turn.
You want to do it?
Tempting. one attack per turn, so it is a single attack.
Well, let's go for him with...
I think you gotta use 2 characters to do it.
I will. Yeah, I totally will. I probably need to use 3.
Potentially.
It's kind of sad, but we'll do Triad, Kid Cullen, and Triad.
Sure. That'll work. I'm just gonna deal the damage. I'm not gonna give you any life. That'll show you. I'll deal the damage to Kid Cullen.
Yeah, I will take 1 for that.
And I'll take 5.
Now the next thing I do is I'm going to activate Triad to play Home Sweet Home. To play, exhaust a team Superman character you control, recover target stunned character you control at the start of the recovery phase this turn. I will choose her.
Sure you won't choose Kleenex?
Would his power work?
Pretty sure it's a free during the recovery phase, or is it not?
It is. But the start and the recovery phase are one and the same, right?
The start period is separate. Is the wording of that card, the
It
character
is
recovers
start.
at the start? Yeah, so the start is occurring, you flip, you can still do things because it's still the start.
Wow, maybe we get another
Yeah.
dude then.
Yeah, you can get them all back.
Is that what I want to do? And then I can push. I can attack with apparatus, but she doesn't get anywhere. And her name is Apparition.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about apparatus.
All right, that's what I'll do. Shucks.
Solid.
Good job,
At this point, we're playing it out just to see if you can hit a new record for most damage dealt in the turn.
well, I mean, you still have a lot of life, and your characters are big, and I haven't removed any of them, so.
If you have Marvel, you will have a team of 15 15s.
Well, no, I have 6 cosmic characters.
Mm-hmm. All right, a team of 10 10s. Touche.
I may have more than 6. Don't have many. Sorry. The last thing I do is I put a counter on Marvel with the mother box.
Yep.
And by Marvel, I mean Bartox.
Yep.
Rishin gets a counter. Nobody else gets counters.
So here's where I face the.
So if I recover her at the start of the recovery phase, does she get a counter?
Interesting
Cosmic
question.
Maybe
Depends
a
on the
Chris
wording
question.
of Cosmic Surge. If it triggers at the. That's interesting.
7
I-
cosmic characters.
I don't think so, but we'll need a rules check on that. The reasoning being you enter the start of the recovery phase, and that's when all those things trigger. But because Kleenex has a payment power, you're still in that zone. That'd be my interpretation. But I am not sure. That is intricate. So, if you have Marvel, I am utterly obliterated.
Do have initiative.
I mean, I'm utterly obliterated. If you do not have Marvel, I could play the card that you've never seen. That's the 8-drop in this deck. But it's an absolute waste to play it if you have Marvel, because it's a spoiled thing. It's like, here's this cool thing that will fail horribly. So that's like a lose-lose situation.
Do you want me to tell you if I have Marvel?
Yeah, you might as well.
I do have Marvel.
Then I should save the cool card for one day. otherwise, again, it's a total bust. Look at this awesome thing fail. I will recruit Richard Tyler Hourman. He's like the other guy. I can give you life for some stats.
I've got Marvel.
What are the odds? So rather than putting counters on all of them because we don't have enough dice, what is the benefit that he provides?
Marvel's power is when Monel comes into play. Characters you control get +1/+1. For each cosmic character you control, I control 9 cosmic characters.
Was that right with the 15-15? It's like my two guesses were averaged.
So all of my characters are +9/+9. Everybody 3 or less is also +3/+3. And I will form slightly differently. Form. That's reasonable enough for me.
Then the best case scenario is, I guess, to try and stun Marvel.
Okay, it's 27/27.
Yeah. So she has 17 attack against a character with greater cost. That's 25. 30.
All right, well that'll work. I'll go for the 6-pack.
6. I just took 25 attack off the
I will
table.
pull his counter for 3.
My goal is to see if I can not get to -75.
Sure. I will exhaust 5-drop.
That accurate.
I think Kinetic Solo is going to attack the 4-drop.
Right. I got 1 power up. So
It's 2 defense, right? My attack is 17.
Yep. I was right with 15-15.
Well, she's on the bigger end of things, so.
It's true. So, sorry, 17?
Yep.
So my defense is +1 from the equipment, which is 7, and +2 from that, which is 9. I take 8 breakthrough and 4 for the stun, which is 12. I'm at 24. That would pass.
Yep. Then I gotta start team attacking. So.
Is that a true thing?
To be sure. Try and Triad are gonna attack your 5-drop.
Only your protected characters have range?
Correct.
So Kleenex can't get me. Alright. So you're attacking this guy, sorry?
Yep. 26.
Sorry, he is only +2/+2 right now. Or no, is that true? He counts himself. Aha. So I'm an 11, 10. You are team attacking with 2. You sure you want to do the team attacks?
No reason not to.
Well, I mean,
I
if you
still-
want
I
to
still
go
get
for
to
a
swing
dramatic
through.
life total.
I mean, I probably don't need to team attack your other characters, but that one I should.
Sure. I mean, you're over my defense by 5.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
This is for those watching, when a rich person is asked, what is the price of a banana when you go into the supermarket?
I don't like. If I'm only over by 5, that's a tremendously good play. Oh, you mean with a single
one character,
Sure,
you're over
sure.
by 5, which is like usually
Okay.
2 is enough or 1 is enough.
I see what you're getting at. Let's back it up.
You might as well go for the big because I've lost this by a mile.
We'll do it with Kid Cohen. How's that?
Okay, I accept. So that's even more because protected characters gain what bonus?
Just one attack, so she's plus 13, so she's got 15 attack.
13, right. So 15 attack, so I take 6 breakthrough. I take 11. I'm at 13. I'm still in it. I'll pass.
Yep.
Be like
We
I'm not
will
able to make up
do
100.
Lana Lang next. She will attack the 1-drop.
Sure. So you are 13, 13? No, you're protected. You are a 14. Your protected characters, sorry, your protected characters are
14,
1
14.
attack.
Yes, you got it. So 14, 15 technically.
I see. I knew there was an extra stat somewhere. 14, 15. So I will... She is of equal cost, so I don't get my stat bonus. I will take... Sorry, I'm getting pretty sleepy.
It's alright. We're almost done.
14, I take 9, 10, I take 10 damage. 3.
Alright. Let's do Vartox against the 4-drop.
Right.
17, 17. 17, 18.
Right. So I will give you 3 life to gain 4, 4.
Okay.
Which is power, which is a net gain of 1 to me. You said you were a what? A 17, 17?
Yep.
So I am a 9, 9. So you will deal 8 breakthrough, and 4 for the stun, which is 12, which would be negative 9.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one. You're right. So the rest is
75 was my goal. I don't think I'm going to hit it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters who can attack. So that's 45 damage just from this.
Right.
47. No, sorry. 50. 54. 58. 62. She's worth 6. Is that right? No, she's worth 5. 67 more.
67 puts me at negative 86. Is that right?
No.
What did you say? 76.
Yeah, that's
I was 1 off.
right.
Didn't hit my goal by 1. So close. I am more negative than life I had at the start of the game.
And then I gain 9 life.
Touche. Why that deck?
Sorry. I was worried because when you play a bunch of the Superman stuff early, they don't have the cosmic counters, even though they have the powers that support. And if you get one of them, it falls apart. Like that was the bad draw for me at the beginning, but you didn't manage to capitalize.
Yeah. Well, and there's only so much I can do. If you get Kinetics, Bouncing Boy, and Vartox, the stall is in play. You got 2 redirects. Yep. Negative 76. This is probably like my second best deck.
Well, I have S's too. I'm sorry, they're S's. It's not.
I don't know if your decks are S's. They're just so unstoppable. Pretty unstoppable.
This deck has been faring pretty well. This deck might be a tier above S. It has lost, I think it's lost twice on stream.
Is that right?
Yeah. But that's not a lot. It's played many, many more times than twice.
Yep. Such a grueling fight.
I can't.
So frustrating.
I can't hit that tier.
I know.
Most of my
funny.
decks are A's. Accidentally, because I enjoy things that are fun more than things that are effective.
Yep.
I seem to go from double A to super
Yep.
S.
Yep.
I can't find that sweet spot.
I think you're the one that probably is solidly S is the least interesting of your decks, which is the big.
They feel like they're on the low end of the S.
But I think they're
they get
in
beaten
S.
a lot. Yeah, I think they're in S.
I
That's
think
true.
they win. I think they win maybe
Maybe
1
about
out of 3.
30% of it. Yeah, I'd say
I think
that.
they win 1 out of 3. which is a reasonable case in its own. I think your other two both win like 9 out of 10.
It might be.
It's like
I don't feel like I have good stats on
the
Revenge Squad.
Squad.
Yeah.
I would almost be curious.
Mostly because we took them out of play for years and years and years.
That's true. I wonder how they fared on stream. I feel like we have mediocre games that are in the A and the AA territory, but every week I dread the S match.
Well-
They're always just a brutal, frustrating match for me.
Maybe I should just start playing your S decks.
Maybe. I don't know. Or we open with the S and get it out of the way for me.
Big Dudes is next, so
Yeah. And that one, like, and again, like 1 out of 3 is, few more losses than wins, but like you can win with them, and they're usually not bad matches. And I can't get sloppy because they hit really hard, and I feel a little poorly about it because the reality is the Legionnaires and the Revenge Squad are brilliantly constructed decks. Like, you really nailed them. They're great, and they're clever, and they're interesting, and they're just...
Revenge Squad's kind of simple. But
well, that's
effective.
fair. That's fair.
But I agree with, like...
Legionnaires is, like, super technical, and it's one of your greatest deck-building accomplishments, because I think the Outsiders built themselves and were just randomly ridiculous.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But Legionnaires was a very intricate construction. But boy, fighting them is such a brutal match, because I'm sitting here with, like... I mean, I freaking had good 4... good 1, good 5, good 6, several plot twists. Like I did again have a bunch of characters in my resource row, which was a theme for every game this night. And I'm like, I can do nothing. I have no plays, no outs, and I can see that I have no plays and no outs for the next 4 turns, and then we'll lose to Marvel.
I could tell that you had given up in the middle.
Yep, and I could tell there was nothing I could do. I can't imagine cards that I could draw from this deck. If you said your hand is now this, I would have lost that game. And that's the way I feel playing against them most of the time. It's like, if I could draw my entire deck, with the admitted caveat that would allow me to play like 20 plot twists. But if we assume like I could pick the 2 cards that I could draw every turn, as an example, from any cards in my deck, I would lose every time.
Well,
if you get your setup.
We'll take him out of the rotation. Or take a break from him, maybe?
Yeah,
or
I mean, we could try my S decks against each other. They have the blessing and the curse of being from the... about a third of them are from the same
What we really need
set.
is Chris needs to move back to California, because he has S decks, doesn't he?
Well, he had a couple. He had Green Lantern,
Uh-huh.
which was pretty nuts. I think we called that S.
We were encouraging to push it up. I don't think
felt
we made
like
a
an S.
conclusion
That's
before
fair.
he left.
Maybe it was just a really good double
Yeah.
A. It felt like an
I
S.
think it's 1 in S. I think we put it up
Yeah.
there for a couple games and it won.
There are... He has a deck that is in the super tier, like Anti-Monitor. Your Legionnaires might be able to beat Anti-Monitor because of the exhaust structure. I can't remember exactly how Anti-Monitor works, but I have a vague memory that there's like your ability to cause pure stasis and prevent him from doing things. I don't remember all the mechanics of Anti-Monitor, so that might not be true. See, Anti-Monitor, what's interesting about it is Anti-Monitor is absolutely completely outside the rules. Legionnaires isn't exactly outside the rules, it just does a thing within the rules better than humanly possible. And again,
I have a deck that can beat Anti-Monitor every time.
Oh, Atomic Skull?
It's rigged elections. I will win the presidency way before you destroy the universe.
You have rigged elections?
Of course I have rigged elections.
Where's that?
It's in rotation in my A tiers now.
Oh, it's an A.
Yeah.
It beats Anti-Monitor every time?
Well, it's one of those weird ones. It wasn't
Right.
in rotation for a long time.
Right.
It's one of those ones that, like, it can beat double A's.
Right, because it's crazy.
It can beat,
It just
like,
plays outside
as
the game.
long as you're slow.
Right.
Like, the secret to rigged elections is, I'm not playing versus system. I'm hoping you can't kill me by 6.
Right.
If you can't kill me by 6 and I've done it right, which is also not easy, I win.
Just because I feel like I'd like to make you feel a little worse after that,
Oh,
I will
thanks.
mention that my opening turn was a couple of decent cards and then my 8-drop, and I thought, Ian's never seen the 8-drop in this deck.
Oh.
This is going to be really
yeah.
awesome. And granted, in S tier, there is a risk of not making it to 8, but it's worse when you know you're going to make it to 8 on turn 4, and you know you're going to lose by 100 life.
You did, yeah, I guess by 100, yes, that's true.
By more than 100, actually, like 115. So to see that coming, and after, like, I finally get to play this 8-drop, and then it's like, oh, I see what you're playing. Oh, God, and you got your setup. I don't understand. Like, the damn tuning fork even failed, and you got every freaking piece of that setup.
The amazing, the lucky play, the lucky draw, is I top decked Candor that turn.
That's pretty huge.
But everything else,
God.
I was pretty sad. I had Monel in my opening hand, which is why I kept it. That was kind of
honestly, like
I had Monel and the 1-drop Mikey Sawyer in my opening hand, and the team up, and I can't get rid of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny in a way. That particular match, Candor was because JSA is a pretty strong deck. Candor was not. The effect of Candor was that it let you stall better. I think the real issue was really the other ones. It's Bouncing Boy, Vartox, Kinetics, and then eventually Marvel. It's not preposterous that you get Marvel regularly, especially with deck cycle.
I've missed him. I think once on stream.
Yep. It's you usually get him, but every now and then you miss.
I think there's only 2 of them in
but
there.
you always get Bouncing Boy, Kinetics, and Vartox. And
there's a lot of all of those guys.
Of course. I mean, I would
think
assume there's 4 of each. As well, there should be, but you always get them.
There might be 1 fewer Bouncing Boy.
And it's another thing that makes the deck so challenging, and part of what makes it frustrating is you don't have to get them on curve. You can get every one of them. Like if you get them on either 4, 5, or 6.
My ideal play is to play each
Kinetics
of them
like
1 turn behind.
Right.
I want to play Kinetics on 4, and I want to play Vartox on 5.
So you like you
because
have
I
all
want to
this
have
time.
initiative. So I want to play Kinetics on 4 because I have initiative and I exhaust, and then I play Vartox on 5 because I protect Kinetics and then exhaust.
Well, and again, on top of everything else, the thing that it does so well is Stasis. And Stasis is just like, you are playing a really intricate, fun game, and I'm just sitting there waiting for the whole game.
It's fun. It's very intricate.
It is intricate. It's technical.
It makes me feel accomplished.
It's true. You have to do a lot. You do have to. It's not like you don't have to make decisions, but at the end of the day, if you get just enough of those pieces, I was so sad. I'm like, all right, I need you to just not get those 2 cards, and maybe I'm still in it. And you had both, which was Bouncing Boy and Cantor. I'm like, well, that was the nail in the coffin. If I do not have any chance.
No, I'm sorry. It was not fun for you.
Well,
we'll do something else.
The
Maybe
2
well,
first
like
games.
The
2 first games I thought were really good. The 2 first games were -21 to -25.
Yes.
And -3 to -4, which admittedly could have been -3 to -6.
Why do we do that? Okay, so the next deck in my cycle is the one you tolerate.
Sure.
We'll play that game, and then let's take a break from S for a little bit and figure out how we want to continue in S.
Well, on the plus side, I do have enough A decks now. I think I've got 6 A decks. I gradually worked my way up to enough where we could do like 2 AA matches in a night, or 2 A matches, and that's entirely
the only reason we play different tiers is because you select different tier decks.
That's true. Well, we do it inherently for the sake of maximum variety.
Sure.
But we have, and that is why I
don't have a lot of variety in S is part of the problem.
Yeah. Outsiders. Legionnaires. Yeah. So, to be clear, there's one last thing we should state, which is that your goal is to versus system with outsiders that same thing to Ashes.
Maybe.
That is your...
We'll see.
Maybe? You
It's
told
floating-
me that was your...
I don't think anybody's listening at this point.
No.
And we should take care to talk about it.
Well,
Because
that's
again,
all I
don't
was
wanna-
going to say.
I don't want to tip
You
anyone
want
off.
to outsiders Ashes. We can just leave it at that. And I will
Sure.
be satisfied.
Okay.
You're going to
Sure.
You're going to attempt to outsider Ashes.
I'm going to do something.
I admit I'll be intrigued to see what you come up with. That'll be interesting. It's even more frustrating because I do want to emphasize how much I appreciate the effort that went into those deck constructions. I wish they were fun to play.
And I'm glad you say that because that's all I want. Like,
it's work, or especially on Legionnaires. Legionnaires is.
It's got so many moving parts.
Oh my god! I mean, that's one of those things where, like, somebody dropped a bunch of cards on the ground, and you're like, I see the Matrix, and it's just like, and out of that you pulled these pieces. just a brutal. Was that Origins, DC Origins, and the Legionnaires set?
It is a single set deck.
Oh, it is. Okay, that's fair.
Is that true?
Is some of the teams
Mother
in
Box
there?
is not from that set.
Oddly, not essential. That's the thing. Is like your not essential stuff is still so helpful. So if you get all your fallback stuff, and I'm sitting here like, I have one plot twist to give me +4 defense on defense, which is an S tier plot twist, and your locations, which are firing on every character on every attack, are matching that.
Only because I chose not to have any that costs more than 3. There was
Again,
forethought.
that's the intricacy of it. Oy vey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I did really enjoy the first 2 games, and I felt that
We'll figure.
they were really close. So I want to not dread the S tier quite as much as I dread it right now.
No,
I really do dread it.
I appreciate that. I understand where you're coming from. So it's not. It's well, we like having. It's not fun for me if you're not having
Sure.
fun.
We could, at some point, if we try some of my decks, we could actually try Revenge Squad and Legionnaires against each other, because Revenge Squad has some aspects which counter that. Atomic Skull, Instant Stun, they circumvent. And I don't know that they beat it, but they circumvent it. So it's interesting. The number, so fun. Another fun tidbit, and then it is late, so we should call it. But the several of my S decks make it into S tier. I think this is true of maybe 2 of them, because of the way they modify the chain, and because your decks don't rely on chain play being intrinsic to them. Legionnaires certainly not. Revenge Squad not so much either. What I do doesn't do anything, or does much less.
Not sure I followed.
So like these guys get a lot better fighting up
Oh,
the chain.
the chain. I see. So the chain is
They
the name of
circumvent-
this stack equivalent. That's why I was confused.
Right.
You mean
sorry.
you
I
mean
attack
they're
up
good
the-
at fighting
the power
characters who
curve.
are they're mucking
Higher
with
cost,
the
yeah.
character curve.
And your decks circumvent that because they don't they either don't depend on traditional attacks, which is actually true of both of the ones that I have a hard time with. They don't depend upon traditional attacking in different ways. But yeah, well, there you go. I will say this: it's a hell of a demo of, because if you actually look at my board position and what I had in play on turns 5, 6, and 7, it's hard to imagine any other deck out of either of our sets that could deal with the power that I had on the board, and I was as helpless as a newborn babe.
When you gave up, you could have protected a little better. I don't know if it would have slowed me down, but you certainly weren't trying.
Well, it depends. I mean, when we get to turn, you're referring to turn 8.
No, before then. There were a couple of turns.
I was not deliberately misplaying at any point, so I may have made misplays because I was sleepy. But I was still playing the best that I could play to my tired state until the last turn, where I did have a surprise 8 drop that it would have just been so sad. The surprise 8 drop in this one is kind of a novel thing. Be like, it's something we'll want to see one day, but it is not something that is... It's not really an S tier 8 drop. It's just a decent 8 drop. That would be a fun trick, and will not explicitly win me anything. But just to do it once. It's just to do it once card. And then you'll be like, that's kind of novel, and I'll keep it in the deck because it's not bad for the deck, but it's just a novelty. But only what was the well, whatever. I'll look at if I'm curious enough about hearing my own anguish, I'll review the stream later and just see if I could have done something more defensively.
I wasn't sure that it was the case, but
Sure.
I felt like how I felt surprised on a couple of turns how easy you made it for me to exhaust your bigger characters, and maybe there wasn't any alternative.
The front 2 characters did not have range, so if I and I did not have a way to give them range, so I had to put the same 2 characters in the front row and the same 2 in the back row, or they were as good as exhausted anyway.
Sure.
And by forcing you to exhaust them, it actually made my my one dude slightly bigger, which was consequential for a couple of turns anyway.
He is one of the cards I would consider. I don't think I need to. If I wanted to push up the power of GCPD, he could go in there.
Oh, interesting. It's just sort of an off the wall because you can exhaust so much.
Yeah.
He's a solid character.
But I don't think I want to break up their theme, even though they're like
It's costly.
on the weekend of my A tier.
Yeah,
decks.
and I don't know how far.
They're
it would
still
catch
a
up.
lot of fun because they're annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad choice. You could think about it a little. If I find some, I think he's just a common, so I'm sure I have a billion. I could just give you.
The other character would be Strong Guy.
Oh, interesting. Strong Guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Both of those are lies. Not in that deck, in the ping deck.
Yeah, interesting.
Which
Strong
is
Guy-
already a ridiculous mishmash.
Yes, Strong Guy in the ping deck would work.
Both of them.
Carter maybe. Yeah, Carter's good. Carter's +1/+1 for each exhausted, non-stun, non-army character you control. The reason Strong Guy wouldn't work as well. The other one is he gets counters when you use an activated power.
Right. So I misspoke when I said
Right,
TCPD.
yes,
I meant
yes.
the pingers. But
Yeah, maybe,
I like their theme. They're super ineffective. They might be less effective or as effective as the TCPD officers.
We'll see play one day, I swear.
Anyway, let's say goodnight to everybody.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody's still here.
Thanks for sticking around. Nobody except maybe Casey, but
Except
probably
maybe
nobody.
Casey. We will see you next Friday. I will remind you next Friday. I believe the following Friday I am out,
Yes.
and Kyle doesn't do any streaming without me, so
That is true.
that will be a week we are off. But I will mention that again next Friday.
Yep.
And that's still tentative, so who knows?
Who the hell knows?
And we'll see you. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, everyone. Good night. Have a great weekend.